Hello, everybody, and welcome to Turn to Page, Season 7, Book 1 of Steve Jackson's Sorcery. Shamutanti Hills? Question mark? How would you say that, Reps?
That Shamutanti Hills. That's exactly what I would have gone with.
Yes.
But, Rito, you're not going to tell them about the interesting and important byline? This is the exciting new fantasy adventure in which you become the hero.
Okay. To be fair, I think it's all of us, but I mean, if you want to say it does say my name. It says my name on the cover. I know. This book from many, many moon ago. It's a very famous choose your own adventure book. Like, it's been adapted into some video games, which I've heard are very, very good, and I'll probably end up playing after we read these because they look very good. But, you know, you want to share the other interesting, weird thing about these that, you know, has been offered to us. The special book, the extra book.
Oh, as in the supplemental material.
Yeah, the supplemental material.
So you hear a title like Sorcery and you immediately start to think, okay, well, how is this book evoking themes of sorcery? How is the gameplay of this book involved in sorcery? And there is a supplemental material of, I think it's 48 spells that you are more than allowed to just read through all of their effects, all of the casting reagents that are needed for them, their stamina costs, you know, their spell codes. They have a 3-little spell code at the top. You're allowed to read them all. You just can't read that book while you're reading the sorcery books.
Yeah. Because
you can't take your spell book with you on the adventure. So your ability as a sorcerer in this game is determined by how much of that other spellbook you've managed to memorize.
Yep. And as far as the game implies, it seems to imply that it would be surprised if you remembered them all, just to kind of like, and some of them seem like intentionally sort of like designed to almost trip you up, so you have a difficult time remembering them or something like that. But we're going to be tested. There's even going to be fake spells in the book offered to us that aren't even real. So if we choose them, we just waste resources on a spell that doesn't exist. So because of how this is formatted and that requirement, we basically did like a study cram session of the spell book beforehand. And as the options are presented to us, we will try and comically, you know, probably fail sometimes at recalling what some of the options it's presenting to us are. And then we'll explain what we think they're going to be based on our gut as we see them. And then we'll find out if we're right. So, like, it's kind of a weirder little extra thing, but it's also very, very cool. Like, it's such a smart system for adding into a spellcasting, like, fantasy adventure that I, like, as soon as I saw that, I was like, oh, I get it immediately. Like, I get why people like this. And I didn't even read any of it yet.
It's also, apparently you can also go through the adventure completely ignoring the sorcery system and instead just fighting with a sword.
Yes.
But this will give us the opportunity to use much more situational answers to different things. I'm very excited to get into this.
We can also always use the sword if we want to as well. We're just going to be worse at it than we played as a quote-unquote warrior. They only can use the sword, but they're better at it, is kind of how it's going to be. But this just seemed like the more spicy way to do it. And we're opening ourselves up for ridicule with Steve Jackson's sorcery veterans and pros. But also, those are probably the same people that would be upset if we cheated and just looked at the book the whole time anyways. So hopefully they understand that we have to be bad at it. It's either we be bad at it or we cheat. So that's just it. So I would prefer to be bad at it than cheat.
More in the spirit of the things.
Yes.
Those same Steve Jackson sorcery pros would know that we rolled very well for our character at the start. With a skill of 9, a stamina of 23, and a luck of 10. These are going to be stats that we have to roll against in order to see the impact of certain things in game.
Yes.
But I think that's all we really need to introduce you to. We also have a sword, a backpack, pouch with 20 GP, 2 provisions. And there's a special ability that we can use once per adventure, offered to us by Libra, the Goddess of Justice. We can either choose Revitalization, which allows us to restore all of our stats to their base values. We can choose to escape a situation, which would be offered to us in the text. or we can choose removal of curses and diseases. Again, that's once per adventure, and there'll be, I believe, 5 adventures in this series.
Yeah, I think so. I think so.
4.
4. Yes, of course. I mean, 5, I guess, is the supplemental material.
Yes, exactly.
Do you want to take us into the introduction?
Absolutely. Introduction. You're about to embark on an epic adventure, a quest for the Crown of Kings. Your journey will take you to from Annaland, your home, across the unruly territories of Kakabad to the Mampang Fortress, wherein lies the treasured crown. In this solo fantasy role-playing gamebook, you may elect to become either a wizard or a warrior. If you choose... Okay, never mind. The rest of the stuff is the stuff that we already explained.
We're so good.
Whether wizard or warrior, the journey ahead will be dangerous and you will be faced with tricks, traps, problems, and clues, not to mention a host of evil creatures which will try and prevent you from reaching your goal. But if your skill is great, and if your luck and your god is with you, you may survive the overland journey to the Mampang Fortress.
Let's go. All right. We got a nice little map here. Oh, also, the combat is going to require, some double die rolling. I don't know if you saw, there's a neat little thing this book does, where at the bottom of every, almost every page, there's, a simulated die roll of what would show up on 2 dice. So if you're playing without dice, you can literally just flip through the pages rapidly and open to a random page and pretend that that's your die roll. And it's such a clever way to add dice into the book in case you don't have them. It's I just saw that and I was like, that's very clever.
That is super neat. I thought that was denoting, you'll have to roll on something on this page, but no, that's absolutely that.
Yeah. All right. So we have The Legend of the Crown of Kings. Are we going to go through that as well, you reckon?
I believe we should. This appears to be the introduction to our story here.
You know what? Since we know that this is going to be a little bit dialogue lighter, do you want to hit us with The Legend of the Crown of Kings as well?
Absolutely. Centuries ago, in a time we now call the Dark Ages, whole regions of the world were undiscovered. There were pockets of civilization, each with their own races and cultures. One such region was Kakabad, a dark land to the end of the earth. Although several warlords had tried, Kakabad had never been ruled. All manner of evil creatures forced the more civilized lands back into the Zanzunu peaks, had gradually crawled into Kakabad, which became known as the Vermin Pit at Earth's End. Civilization and order has spread throughout the rest of the known world ever since the discovery of the Crown of Kings by Chalana the Reformer of Femfrey. With its help, Chalana became emperor of the largest empire in the Eastern world. This magical crown had mysterious powers, bestowing supernormal qualities of leadership and justice on its owner. But Chalana's own ambitions were not of conquest. He wished instead to establish peaceful nation-states, aligned to Femfrey. Thus, in his wisdom, he passed the fabled crown from ruler to ruler in the neighboring kingdoms, and, with the help of its magical powers, one by one these lands became peaceful and prosperous. The path was set. Each ruler would own the Crown of Kings for a 4-year period in which to establish order within his kingdom and fall in with the growing Femfrey alliance. So far, the kingdoms of Ruddlestone, Lenderland, Galanteria, and Bryce had each taken their turns under the rule of the Crown. The benefits were immediate. War and strife were virtually unknown. The King of Annanland duly received the Crown of the Kings amid great ceremony, and, from that day onwards, the development of Annanland was assured. No one quite knew how the Crown of Kings could have such an enormous uplifting effect on a whole nation. Some said it was divinely inspired. Some said its power was merely in the mind. But one thing was certain. Its effects, were unquestionable. Its questions were ineffectual! All was well in Annanland until the night of the Black Moon. The king was the first to discover the crown was missing. Carried off on that starless night by birdmen from Zaman. The crown was on its way to Mampang in the outlawed territories of Kakabad. News came from Backlands that the crown was being carried to the Archmage of Mampang, whose ambitions were to make Kakabad his kingdom. Although Kakabad was a dangerous land, it was in itself little threat to surrounding kingdoms. The lack of rule meant it had no army, and its own internal struggles kept it permanently preoccupied. But, with the crown of kings to establish rule, Kakabad could potentially be a deadly enemy to all members of the Fenfrey Alliance. Such was that shame that fell on Analand for the loss of the crown that all benefits from 2 years under its rule soon disappeared. Law, order, and morale were breaking down. The king was losing confidence of his subjects. Neighboring territories were looking suspiciously across their borders. There was even whisperings of invasions. One hope remained. Someone, for a military alliance, would never survive the journey, must travel to Mampang and rescue the crown of kings. Only on its safe return would the dreadful curse be lifted from Analand. You have volunteered yourself for this quest, and your mission is clear. You must cross Kakabad to the Mampang fortress and find the crown!
I'll do it! Okay.
All right, stop yelling at me. God.
Come on, just give me a minute. Okay, we got page 1 here. We got another kind of like little intro thing. We got a picture of looks like a Bugman guard, but I think like a Bugman guard man, human potentially,
adorned in much regalia.
Yes, that makes him look like a little bit of a Bugman guard knight. He's like
I don't know what to tell you. He's got antennae. Does that help?
Yes,
he's got antennae?
Yes, that helps. That helps me. All right. You awake at sunrise. After dressing, you breakfast on bread and goat's milk and collect your belongings. Outside, the outpost settlement is stirring. The womenfolk emerge to wash and prepare their meals as the day's guard takes over. Eyes follow you as you leave your hut and you walk towards the Shamutanti wall. The frontiers people are well aware of your mission, and a small crowd of well-wishers follows some distance behind you. Before you stands the Cantapani Gate, guarded constantly by Sightmaster warriors who look like Bugman guards. That's what I'm putting it in there. Chosen for their powers of telescopic vision, the gate is the final doorway between Analand and Kakabad. Once more, you check your pack. Satisfied that your preparations are complete, you nod to the Sightmaster Sergeant, and for the last time, he glances at the lookout atop the gate, who signals the all clear. The sergeant orders the bolt to be withdrawn, and the doorway opens up in front of you, and you get your first view of the Shamutanti foothills, the first stage of your journey. The Sightmaster Sergeant strides over and grasps your hand.
I will not wish you a safe journey, for the way ahead will not be safe. Kakabad is a treacherous land inhabited by devils, but this you already know. Take the path ahead to Cantapani, the small settlement of traders. Although most are rogues and thieves, which you should reach within about an hour. From Cantapani onwards, there's about 3 routes between Biritanti and Kare, a city port on the Jabaji River. From Kare, you must cross the backlands, which are unknown. It is said that day and night in the backlands are controlled not by the sun, but by supernatural forces. And bear in mind, also, that from Kare onwards, your progress will be watched.
His warnings do little to inspire confidence in you. What? Is it because he said, I do not wish you a safe journey, because it's not gonna be?
I've got 500 pounds on you losing.
I'm well versed in all of the dangers out there, and I'm sorry, you're toast. Does this help?
If you survive, I'm coming for you.
His warnings do little to inspire confidence in you, but he continues.
But I have observed your training, and you are indeed a worthy champion. I wish you luck and success on your quest. My thoughts, and the good wishes of all people of Analand, will be with you. With Libra on your side, you may even have to lift the curse of depression which racks our kingdom.
You shake his hand, thank him for his quote-unquote good wishes, and step up to the gate. Resolutely, you pass through the doorway. The faces of the folk watching your departure reveals the hopes that rest with you and with the success of your quest. With a wave, you turn and face the hills. The early morning air is crisp, and the rising sun paints the hills in colors of natural beauty which conceal the devilry ahead. Setting off determinedly, you follow the path. Your quest has begun! Turn to page 178. Podcast. The path winds through fields of wild scrubland. I like that. The countryside is...
That's where I grew up.
I know. The countryside is deserted, and an eerie silence is broken only by the cawing of an occasional crow. The birds appear to pause in the air to examine you as they pass, and you feel uneasy at their presence. You pass over a small hillock from which the top you can see the path continuing downwards into a small settlement of huts at the base of the Shamutanti hills. You follow the path, and as you approach the village, noises and movements indicate that it is populated. Also the fact that it's a village. As the path runs straight through the village, you have little choice but to follow it. The round huts are made of a hard-baked bright clay with thatched roofs. As you pass, eyes appear at dark doorways watching your movements, and suddenly a villager appears from one of the dwellings and stands before you. He's 5 feet tall, with thick-set arms and thighs half-clothed in tattered breeches. His eyes are wild, and his long red hair and beard stand out on his face in a wiry tangle.
"Halt, stranger!"
He commands.
"What business have you in Cantapani?"
What's your response? Tell him you're a trader, ask for directions onwards, or tell him you're hungry and need provisions. Like, legitimate, choice immediately. These are all very different. These are all very different outcomes already.
They definitely are. Do we have anything to trade? I guess we do have 20 GPs. It's possible we could just buy something here. Maybe one of the casting reagents for our spells.
That is true. A lot of the spells that we cast need a specific thing that we also had to remember that I forgot most of, and hopefully Raps knows.
We'll see.
We'll see. Maybe it'll spark a memory.
Is there a spell to make me
them.
remember?
I know that there was the one for getting help, which is how. There's a spell.
Yeah, I do like that one as well.
There's a spell that is how that I think guides you in the right direction. So
yes.
How? Help game.
Asking for direction onwards. I mean, so as I understand it, we're going from here to Kare, and there's 3 routes that take us there, so maybe asking for directions could help us figure out which of the 3 routes we should take. I don't know. I just don't think we should tell him that we're hungry and need provisions, because turning off and being like, yum yum, anyone got any food? I'm hungry. Just rubbing your tummy walking into town. It's not a good look,
so
right?
People shouldn't be doing that everywhere I go.
Well, it doesn't endear you immediately to people, except for a very specific the I will feed anyone type.
Yeah.
This village seems more get your own food.
So you're
Completely
telling
different
me
vibe.
You don't like it how I enter every Discord call with, I'm hungry and I need provisions. It's off-putting.
It's the yummy, I'm hungry. It's the high pitch to it, really. You
do it wrong. It's cute when I do it. Okay. I don't know. What do you have a vibe between trader and directions? Otherwise,
I kind of like trader. See the possibility if we do actually get to buy anything.
It wouldn't be hard to get directions after, but we'll see. So 264 is where we shall go. Oh my. He grunts and motions for you to follow, taking you through the village to a large hut. Inside, you discover that the building is evidently a storage house, and a quartermaster somewhat plumper than your guide is seated at the table. The villager explains you wish to do business and leaves you with the plump man, who bids you to take a seat. The merchant has the following items for sale. If you are interested in any of them, turn to the reference indicated. There is as follows, listed by Rhapsody.
A herbalist's potion, a fine-edged broadsword, a musical pipe, an axe with strange carvings, a bag containing teeth, and a fine glittering jewel.
So, we do know there are multiple... I remember there are multiple spells that require teeth.
There are indeed.
There's one that requires goblin teeth and one that requires a giant tooth.
Exactly. Those are Gob and Yob, respectively. Yob turns a single giant's tooth into a giant. Gob turns as many goblin's teeth as you have into that many goblins.
That theoretically are supposed to obey your command.
Mm-hmm.
I also wonder if the glittering jewel is more specific of a jewel than it's letting on.
Absolutely. It could be the sun jewel, which you can cast a sun spell on in order to turn it radiant. We probably shouldn't go through every spell that we know, right?
No, probably not. But this is me just sharing with you, because there's also a musical pipe might be able to be a spell as well, and an herbalist potion can be useful as well. The thing is, I don't know. I guess a fine-edged broadsword is probably just going to be a sword that's better for combat, for swinging and hitting people with. Maybe the axe with strange carvings is as well. Just a good, maybe a way to improve your combat. Do you have any leans?
I gotta be honest, the musical pipe showing up here is really appealing because
Yes.
I like the possibility of the spell associated to it, but also it makes it a little bard's adventure.
I like that as well. And I mean, and not just because the spell that it could potentially be associated with is called Jig. so I'm down. 22?
Mm-hmm.
Unless I'm wrong. It's called Jig, right?
It is Jig,
Okay.
yes.
Gosh, I'm remembering more than I gave myself credit for. I'm glad.
Got it.
Roll 1 die. This is the price in gold pieces that the merchant is asking for the pipe. If you will pay this price, purchase that instrument and turn to 280.
I have great news.
Is it a 1 gold piece pipe?
I have slightly less good news.
Is it a 2 gold piece pipe?
It is a 2 gold piece pipe.
How much money do we have? Don't we have like quite a bit? 20?
We have 20. So
Yes!
I don't know if he's going to give us the opportunity to buy more things, but that's only 2 gold off of that.
My answer is an easy yes. I would pay 6 for it. So, oh shoot, I shouldn't have said that out loud. I'm trying to barter.
Oh wow.
What's up?
Let's head to 280, which is the after purchase.
If you have investigated only 1 or 2 of his offerings, you may choose another. If you have considered 3, you may not try a 4th, and you must leave on 91. Okay, good to know. So we have the pipe. We're down 2 gold. I'll admit I'm interested in a bag of teeth, but like...
Absolutely, let's go. It was the first on my list as well.
Okay, good. I mean, we don't know what kind of teeth they are.
The fact that we don't know what kind of teeth they are, but if it's plural, it seems more likely it would be the goblin teeth.
That is true. All right. You ask what sort of teeth the bag contains, but he will only tell you creature teeth. Sorry.
No, it's okay. I just heard hesitation. I was like,
it was bad media. Creature teeth. And he certainly will not trust you to look through the bag. He will charge you 3 gold for the bag of teeth. Buy if you will, and then turn to 280. Creature teeth feels like goblin teeth.
It does. Also, like the fact that he says, or the fact that it says that we can only consider as many items means that like we lose the opportunity to get another item anyway. We might as well leave with some creature teeth.
I'll buy creature teeth for 3 gold. Maybe it's a mistake, but I'm interested. Are you?
Absolutely. I'm already writing it down. Creature teeth.
So this is where the real question is, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
This is definitely the hardest one. My lean, maybe incorrectly, is towards either the jewel or the herbalist potion.
Mm-hmm.
My fear is that the jewel is extremely expensive to the point where we couldn't ever afford it. Like,
if I had to guess, I would say it might be like 2d6 plus something. Like, it will be expensive, but I think we probably still could afford it. But it would also deprive us of a lot of resources. I guarantee that it'll be like 10 plus at least, if we can afford it.
Yeah, so like I think it's kind of just like I'm down to check. But I also think that
the upside of the jewel is very high.
I think the upside could be very high. I am prepared for it to just say it's 21 gold and like you weren't supposed to pick that one because like just based on the phrasing of if you have considered 3 has me thinking that that's a possibility. Let's go to 60. Let's give it a go. The jewel is large and looks very valuable. It is set in a tarnished mount. His price is 10 gold pieces. Buy the jewel if you wish and turn to 280. I was hoping we'd get to know more about it, but we should probably do it, right?
I think we should. And it is 10, exactly.
It's 10, yeah. Have you played this book before?
My name isn't Steve Jackson, it's something else.
All right, so on to page 91 with our newly acquired loot. Ooh, you bid the merchant farewell and leave the hut. If you've bought any artifacts from him and you're anxious to know what they are, turn to 126. If you bought nothing from him, you can continue to 163. I'm anxious to know what they are on 126.
Oh, 100%.
You may investigate your purchases by turning to the appropriate references as indicated. Yeah, I mean, let's look at them all, right? 249 to look at the pipe.
Absolutely.
The pipe is made of bamboo, and you blow it. It gives off a lovely little note. You may take this with you. Turn to 126. It was a bamboo pipe that we needed specifically, right?
I believe it was a bamboo pipe we specifically needed for casting Jig.
I think Jig requires a bamboo pipe. So, okay, cool. 126. Back to 126.
Bag of teeth on 190.
All right, let's investigate the bag of teeth.
Oh.
Oh. The teeth in the bag are indeed from various creatures, several from death hounds, 3 from an ape, 4 from a goblin, 2 from a snatacat, and a large molar from a giant. You may take any or all of these, then turn to 126. Okay, so we have 4 goblin teeth and a giant tooth. That's super. That's great. I mean, like,
are we intentionally like?
I don't know if we intentionally.
It says you may take any or all of these. Yeah, is there any of them that we want to leave behind? I could imagine like the Snatacat being like a thing that if we had on us, another Snatacat might take offense to or something like that. But that's literally just me trying to imagine why you wouldn't want to take them all.
My guess is they are just trying to overload us with information that like it's trying to see if we studied our reference book appropriately, and like maybe we'll try teeth that like so that you could try incorrect teeth.
Yeah,
that's my guess. So I think that we're just
we'll hold on to them.
We could hold on to them.
I don't know how to like list several death hounds.
Yeah, several.
7 question mark.
7. All right, back to 126, which brings us then again to a new page. 152 to look at the jewel. Oh no. The glittering jewel in its mount is cold to the touch, but has an unusual sparkle. You put it into your pack, however, it is in fact an ice jewel, and sometime later it will melt away into a worthless liquid. You have wasted your money. Turn to 126.
We got.
We got. Man sold us an ice cube. All right.
Why do you keep your jewels in the freezer?
I know.
No reason.
All right, on to 95. 10 gold, especially poorer. At least we got some good. We got some good stuff. We got 3 instances of things that we know will be useful, in theory, for some spells. You press onwards out through the Cantapani along the path leading to Shamutanti Hills. Don't you just love fantasy? However, you feel a little uneasy while passing the huts and the fringes of the village. Hissings from within and sly faces which disappear into the doorways as you pass make you feel decidedly unwelcome, and you're glad that you're leaving. At the edge of the town, you pass a large boulder, and as you do, 2 rough-cut villagers spring out with swords drawn. Bandits! They demand that you hand over your backpack. If you do as they ask, turn to 261. If you refuse, you have to fight them on 104. I don't want to lose our flutin teeth.
I don't want to lose the ice sopping wet pile of what used to be a jewel.
I mean, theoretically, we still have the thing that it was encased in. Like, we can make our own ice jewel to flip for 10G. So, I mean, I feel like we fight them, right? Like, otherwise,
let's do it.
We lose our stuff, surely. Okay. The bandits growl and advance. You may fight them in turn. If you win, go to 56. Alternatively, you may cast a spell. Do you want to say what the spells are?
Absolutely. We have FOF, which is a force field that we can cast for 4 stamina points. We have 23 of them at the moment. We have Jig. Jig turns up. Woo! Jig. Yeah. We cast that with a bamboo pipe, and it gives us the ability to play a jaunty little tune that makes our enemy dance, which distracts them, giving us the ability to run away. There's Bam, which is not a spell. There's Law.
Oh, I was thinking Pop. Pop is a spell, not Bam.
Yes. There's Law, which I don't know if Law is a spell. I don't remember it. Law is a spell.
It convinces them to. It's like a charm spell, kind of.
Mm-hmm. Makes them cooperative, that kind of thing.
Yeah, something like that. Mm-hmm. And Yaz is Yaz Queen. Finally, we remember Yaz Queen.
We have Yaz Queen, exactly. We don't have a green metal ring? No, pearl ring.
You need something for it that we don't have.
Yes.
But it makes you turn invisible.
Yes, that is the pearl ring. We don't have that. But we do have the components for casting Jig. So let's go to 308 and do so.
Yeah, I mean, I think we give it a go.
Exactly. Why would we buy the pipe if we weren't going to do the Jig?
That's what I always say.
You'd be surprised how often that comes up. Oh, man.
Deduct 1 stamina point. Do you have a bamboo flute with you? If not, you should not be at this reference and must deduct a further 3 stamina point as the bandits attack and turn back to 104. If you have such a flute, you may take it from your bag, cast your spell, and play. The angry faces of the bandits turn to expressions of astonishment. They find their limbs jerking in time to the music, quite out of control. They drop their swords and soon are dancing merrily before you. Piping loudly, you direct them back to the village. And as they dance off, you continue your journey. Turn to 131.
Got him. Absolutely got him. So instead of fighting them using like, you know, the one of the basic spells like Force Field, which they give you 6 spells to say
Yes.
you should memorize these first.
Mm-hmm.
Force Field would have cost 4 stamina points. This only cost
Yeah.
us 1 stamina point because we had the right specific thing for the right specific situation. So this is
Yes.
exactly why the additional spells are worth remembering. I'm so glad it worked out. Let's go to
Yeah.
131.
Oh, I mean, I'm glad it was. I mean, I gotta be honest. I would never forget Jig. Like that one is just. That one was just so memorable. You continue along the path, leaving the village behind. About half an hour later, you reach the start of the climb into the hills, and you continue upwards. 5 minutes later, you reach a fork, offering you 2 ways onward. Turn to 183. You ponder the 2 trails as you consider the paths onwards. Cowards. What? You hear weak cries from a large tree ahead. Cautiously, you step up to see an old man sitting on the lowest branch, apparently afraid to jump down to the ground, which, considering his age, is not surprising. He pleads with you to assist, and you help him down. It transpires that he's been traveling from Dumpus and is headed downward to the outpost settlement of Analand. His journey had been safe enough until he was waylaid by Elvins, robbed and left in the tree. In return for your kindness, he relates a rhyme which he feels might help you.
See him though he sees you not, the black-eyed creature creeps. A guardian once, but now his lot, the key to freedom keeps.
See him though.
I mean, so there appears to be a black-eyed type of creature. That lot of creature keeps some item that is important to freedom.
Mm-hmm.
Easy.
He is not sure exactly what the rhyme signifies, but he knows that the Elvins are particularly keen on finding the key in question. He also presses you on his only possession, a page from a spell book, page number 102. The spell described is incomplete, you only have part of it. Looking at it, it appears to be some sort of pest-repelling spell. He then bids you a farewell and heads off towards Cantapani. Okay, so should we look at 102 real quick?
No. I quickly scrolled up when that happened. 102 is not in this book. 102 is not related.
Okay. Well, I've scrolled up and I forgot what page that was on. Where was that? Where were we?
I also forgot that. We were 183.
You may now choose your way onwards. Will you take the highway up into the hills on 157 or the low way along to the valley, 164? Alternatively, you may investigate a buzzing coming from around the tree, which, I don't know if that rings a bell for you. I feel like
It does indeed.
A buzzing could be a bee. A bee can have beeswax, and we can rub beeswax on our sword to make it sharper and do more damage. That is a
By
thing.
casting
That's
the
a
spell
thing.
Raz.
Like, so that's interesting. That could
We
be
should definitely
useful.
make sure that we have the opportunity to use our sword very powerfully at least once, because we might be able to avoid or defeat most enemies with magic, but there will absolutely be one guy who turns up and is just like, I'm magic immune, so let's fight.
I mean, I'm down. I feel like, yeah, it's probably a bee, and a bee is probably beeswax. Will we have to spend stuff for it? I don't know. We'll see. As you look up, you can see a beehive around which a small swarm of bees are buzzing. You may climb up the tree to investigate on 270 or ignore it on page 9.
Oh, so it is bees! And then we turn around and walk away.
I mean, let's go to 270, I guess.
Exactly.
Let's put our hand in the beehive, I guess. The bees swarm around you, but you are powerless to defend yourself, as you must use your hands to grip the tree. Throw 1 die. If you throw a 1 through 4, this is the number of stamina points you lose. If you roll a 5 or a 6, you're lucky, avoid being stung, and then when you reach the hive, you knock it to the ground. Have you rolled a die?
I did roll a die. I rolled the worst possible result.
4.
A 5 or a 6 would mean we're lucky and don't get stung. Unfortunately, we take 4 damage to our stamina.
How much stamina do we have now?
18 total.
Oof, 4's quite a hit. Cutting open the
4 is a
hive
very
on the
heavy hit.
ground, you may take with you the wax and the honey. The honey will provide with enough nourishment for a meal. Okay. So we have a third possible meal, aside from the two that we started with, in addition to the wax, which is good for Raz or Raze or whatever, R-A-Z.
Mm-hmm.
So that is good. Is it worth it? Probably. Let's turn to page 9. You may continue on your journey either by following the path into the valley, 164, or taking the high path up into the hills, 157.
It seems like the high path up into the hills is probably going to take more stamina, but it might be safer.
I see.
Seems a possibility.
We do have an extra ration. Maybe
we do indeed.
That's relevant. Maybe we can handle the extra stamina because we have an extra ration.
Let's do it.
157.
Uphill on 157.
The path winds upwards into the hills, and you enter a wood. The afternoon sun glints through the trees, playing tricks on your eyes. Every so often you catch a glimpse of some strange animal or something watching you, only to find the silhouetted branches and leaves caught at an odd angle. You reach a position where you may rest and eat provisions if you wish, on page 18. If you wish to continue, go to 210. What does provisions do again? Like, does it just replenish? Stamina?
Yeah, what one assumes it just replenishes, but we have 3 uses of them possible, and it is a foodstuff that will nourish us.
Okay. So, what do you want to do?
I think we should try and use one. I think we should know what they're like.
Okay. So, all right. Oh, shoot. What number was it?
Page 18.
18. Went to 28. You sit down and eat and admire the fine view of the surrounding hillside. If this is your first meal today, add 2 stamina points. If you've already eaten since leaving Analand, add only 1. When you're ready to continue, go to 168. It's our first meal.
That roll of 4 was pretty bad then, because a single meal only got us 2 stamina back.
Yes. So hopefully that beeswax is going to save us a net of 2 stamina points, which is stamina our health as well?
Yes, stamina is the damage we'll take in battle.
So, like, basically, the damage increase from making our sword sharp needs to stop us from taking a hit. And if it does, it was worth it. If it doesn't, it wasn't. That's the situation we're at. All right, 168. You turn to your pack and pick it up. But you drop it again in fear as it moves in your hands. Something is inside it, cautiously. You open the top, and as you do, a green squirrel-like creature with a huge belly leaps out into the woods. You curse and examine your contents, but it's too late. The little creature has eaten all of your provisions. You're angry at your own carelessness and set off briskly along the trail again, turn to 210. Okay. Not great.
Not at all. I guess I'm glad that we ate some of them, but I think probably stopping to eat them is what let this happen in the first place.
That's my guess, too, which is... that's criminal.
Ow.
The climb continues for 2 or 3 hours as the path twists this way and that all the way up the hillside. Soon the air gets cold and the sun sets, making it difficult for you to see. However, the moon is full and will be able to light the way as it gets darker. Would you like to continue further marching along through the night? Turn to page 84. Or stop to make camp and get some sleep on 283.
I don't feel especially comforted by our recent experiences.
As in, like, you don't think that stopping is necessarily going to mean things don't mess with us? Or, like, honestly, I think both of them. Yeah. The recent events make me not like either of these options. So it's like...
Do you have a lean?
I don't know why I feel like just marching through the night. Like, I don't know. Because in my head, I'm like, okay, well, we're out of rations. So that means we need to get somewhere where we can fix that.
Mm-hmm.
And if we stop, in my head, I'm just thinking about it like in a video game, whatever, like our hunger meter's going down. So sitting in place feels like the worst possibility because it's like we're still going to have to move all that distance to get to a spot to solve our hunger.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of think we just march through the night. That's my lean, but I don't like it. So 84, I guess.
I do feel like there would be like you wake up and you have a eat trigger effectively, like you have a hunger trigger, and if you don't have provisions to fulfill it, you lose stamina, and I want to avoid that.
Yes. Page 84. Deduct 2 stamina for going without sleep.
All right then.
As you make your way onwards, there is a chance that your noises will attract night creatures. Turn to 123 to see whether you have any encounters, fight if necessary, then return to this reference. Whenever you've done this, continue to 31. So 123. Howdy. Okay. All right, we got a roll table.
Oh, okay. We have rolled 1, which means we will encounter a giant bat with skill 5 and stamina 5.
Okay. You must fight any creatures you encounter. The following spells may be used. Ran, which I don't think is a spell. Gum, which is a spell, makes them stuck in place, but we don't have the thing for it, which is like glue or something. Law,
Exactly.
which is make them obey. I can't remember if it works on animals. I don't know if it can be used on animals or not. Wick, which I don't remember being a spell. Do you? And big, which makes us big.
Do you want to guess what big does?
Big makes us big.
Big's us.
Big makes us big and makes it easier for us to fight. I think it did say like especially against other big creatures, which this bat is giant. So maybe that's a
I think
big
it's
creature.
big time.
I think it's big time. 453. Deduct 2 stamina points for casting the spell. You cast it and begin to grow in 3 times your normal size. The night creature stops in its tracks. You may, if you wish, test your luck. If you're lucky, the beast takes flight and runs back to the woods. If you are unlucky or did not test your luck, it continues to attack, but you may double your skill score as you attack it on 123.
So luck is a resource
Yes.
in this book. We currently have 10 of it, but every time we test our luck, we will lose 1. And when we test our luck, we roll 2d6, and we are hoping to roll under our luck value. So as we use luck, we get much, much less lucky.
Yes.
I don't think we need to use it here. I think we are...
I think doubling our
we
skill
have
score should be
incredible
fine.
Exactly. We add 18 to our rolls of 2d6. They add 5. So the difference is 13, which is 2d6 difference. I'm telling you right now, they cannot roll anything that will ever be better than what we roll.
Okay. So I think, we return to 123.
Let me just make absolutely certain of that, right? So we've got 18 additional skill we add. Yeah, literally, their highest is a 17, our lowest is a 20. So we beat the giant bat, and then...
Oh, no.
Yeah, and then it says return to the previous reference,
Shoot.
and I'm trying to remember which one that
Yes.
was.
All right. I guess I'm going to need to get my Microsoft Paint. Going to have to start marking these down if they're not going to give us those references on the page.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I think it's 84.
Yes, it is. When you have done this, continue by turning to 31.
All right. 31 it is. Did you eat at all on the first day of your journey since you left Annaland? If not, you're feeling very hungry and must lose 3 stamina points. We are not hungry. We ate. So that's
We absolutely ate.
I think we maybe made the right decision then. Because like if everything got stolen and then we got hungry, if that's how that shakes out, that's like a that's a net swing of 5 stamina, which is that's brutal. So like I think we're doing okay. So turn to 246. As the second day of your journey breaks, you march through the cool morning air of the hills, having now climbed several hundred feet. You reach the brow of a hill and stop in your tracks. To your left is a clearing in which several poles are firmly planted in the ground. Atop the poles are heads, some recently fixed, some semi-decayed, human heads, goblin heads, and 1 or 2 heads of creatures you don't even recognize. All with sewn-up eyes and mouths with a large X painted on the broad tree, obviously intended as a warning to venture no further. Ahead, the path forks right and left, but you cannot be sure which path you are warned not to take. Will you continue your climb with the right-hand path, or take the left-handed path winding down the side of the hill? And we can't use how here.
No, apparently not. It would be prompted in the text, were we able. To your left is a clearing in which several poles are firmly planted in the ground. Atop the poles are heads, and this is when you reach the brow of the hill, you stop in your tracks. I wonder, because like it seems most likely that the most defensible position that someone would try and take here would be up, right? The top of the hill. So does that mean the left-hand path, which widens down the side of the hill, is away from that? Because climbing along the right-hand path would be going further up.
Yeah. In a situation where I don't feel like we have a lot to go on, that feels like something to go on.
I think that's all we have. Let's head to 40.
You follow the path carefully downwards, trying to avoid breaking branches as you go. If you wish to stop and eat provisions, I wish to, turn to 180. Otherwise, press on to 133. We don't have any, so 133 has to be
Not
right.
at all. We'll meet you on 133.
You continue along the trail, and the undergrowth around you gets thicker. Suddenly, there's a crackling beneath your feet, and something gives way underfoot. You may test your luck. If you're unlucky, turn to 70. If you're lucky, turn to 89. Or if you don't want to even test, just turn to 70. Is this a good spot to test our luck?
I think maybe.
I'm down to try it. Because, like, we can test our luck in combat to like, adjust rolls as well. That's something we didn't say. Or maybe we said. There's a lot of things to say. My gut would tell me that the testing our luck out of combat is probably going to yield more relevant results. But maybe I'm wrong. So, like, I'm down to testing.
It seems like testing luck in combat is very much like a desperation move.
It's like you die.
We
if
test
you
our
don't
luck
do
here.
it. Yeah.
Rolling a 8, which is below our luck value of 10. We do lose 1 to our luck value, but we have succeeded. We are lucky.
All right. To 89. You leap ahead just in time as a pitfall caves in beneath you. You look back to see a gaping pit in which you would have fallen into. Well, we could have just used fall, F-A-L, to save ourselves from.
Yeah, exactly.
I am so bad at remembering things. I'm so, I'm sorry. This whole podcast is just me going to be going like, maybe I can remember some things. So yeah, 170. But your relief is somewhat premature as you discover, as you take the next step forward, your foot triggers the release mechanism and 3 saplings snap up in front of you, fitted with sharpened stakes which whip towards you at heart level. You're impaled on the fiendish device as your journey has ended here. Your head will soon join the others on the post and you've just passed. Okay. Okay.
Well, that's lucky. So imagine what happens on the unlucky part.
This is the lucky result?
That's the lucky result.
Okay, we died. So you died now what? Okay, what page was that on? I did not write it down even after I said what a fool I am.
170 was that death.
But what about before that? I'm a fool. 133. So I think the only logical thing for us to do is to chalk down that we died. That's death number 1. I will write that down. I'm a tally. That's death number 1. So we could just go all the way back to the beginning, or we could just move back to 133 and just say,
exactly,
never mind, we didn't use our luck.
We do the Prince of Persia rewind to right before catastrophe took hold.
And pretend that we made all of the decisions up to this point, pretend they are the exact same, except we don't use our luck, and we instead accept that we are unlucky, and turn to page 70. Too late, you try and leap clear of the pitfall trap, which has opened beneath you. You drop some 3 meters into a pit and collapse unconscious into a heap. Turn to page 139. When you regain consciousness, you are bound hand and foot. The excited jabberings of a small group of headhunters around you make you fear for your life. You may try and cast a spell. Riz? R-I-S?
Nothing.
Don't think is anything.
Not a real spell.
Dud, which makes fake
them
gold.
Yes.
Try and trick them. Hot, which is that's
fireball, baby.
That's just a fireball. Kid is definitely a spell. I can't remember what it is.
So Kid is a spell that enhances the effect of illusions such that any reasonably intelligent creature perceives them to be fully real, but you need to be wearing a bone bracelet in order to cast it.
Okay, and then Wick.
Not a spell.
Not a spell. So do we conjure fake gold, or do we shoot a fireball at them?
Well, see,
or you may wait to see what they intend to do with you on 112. I guess I didn't even see that part.
I mean, Dud, I don't imagine to do anything, right? If they're headhunters, what do they want more than head, right? I can't give them shiny jewels and glittering gems over on the other side, and that's going to be more appealing to them than just taking my block off the top of my shoulders.
Yep. Yeah.
So hot, maybe? Just cast a fireball or wait?
Yeah, my question is, if we wait, can we shoot a fireball later?
I mean, if our hands are bound... is it possible that we can't even really do anything? Or is it possible we can use hot to unbind our hands?
That's an interesting thought. Do you remember,
puts a fireball in your hand.
Puts a fireball in your hand. My fear is that we're just going to, shoot it at the ground and die.
Yeah, exactly.
Because if our hands are bound, that's a good point.
I think it's too risky.
I think we wait on 112. The little men carry you off, and soon you arrive at the headhunter camp. There is so much commotion that you are led to the center of the settlement. Several natives rush off to fill a large pot with water to be heated over a fire, the implications of which you do not relish. Meanwhile, you're put into a bamboo cage guarded by a strong warrior. Do you wish to pray to Libra for assistance? Turn to page 25. Otherwise, turn to 242. This is the only time we can do that?
Mm-hmm.
I know there's a spell for opening locked doors.
Mm-hmm. It's DOP.
DOP. Maybe that could apply here?
I'd love if we were given a chance to cast a spell, but it doesn't seem like it is saying so.
No, I know. I'm saying, like, if we go to 242, maybe we will have that option?
Mm-hmm.
That's my only hope. Because, like, it feels like... I don't know how far along we are, but it feels like we're maybe not far into the journey, to me.
Mm-hmm.
So it feels too early to use that, but, like, maybe it's not. What do you think?
I would like to hold on to our resources as long as we possibly can.
All right, 242.
And especially, like, the ability to regenerate is so impactful if deployed at the right time.
A short while later, 2 headhunters return and take you from the cage. As they bustle you towards the pot, now steaming as the water heats, you receive a blow on the head and you slump unconscious and never reawaken. You will provide the natives with fresh meat tonight. Okay.
Well.
So we die if we don't. We die if we don't get help.
Damn, dang, gosh, heck. All right. Do we rewind to the point that we are trying to cast a spell, or to the point that we have to ask Libra to save us?
That's a good question. What do you feel?
I kind of want to see if they'll respond to any of the spells.
You want to try the money or the fireball?
I think dud. I think it's more I am concerned. I wonder if it'll even, like, summon heads. Like, to them, this is treasure.
True. I feel like that's... Yeah, I'm down to go for dud. I do just have to figure out what page that was. Not doing a good job.
That is 406.
Okay. Deduct 2 stamina points. You will now learn an important rule. You cannot cast spells while your hands are bound. You've wasted your efforts. Turn to 112.
Right.
Okay. So we can't do anything. So I guess...
Time to ask Libra for
I guess
assistance,
we have to ask... I think we have to ask Libra for assistance, I guess. You plead with your goddess, but nothing happens. You try again, and she appears to not be listening. A short time later, your captors bundle you out of your cage towards a large pot, warming you over the fire. 3 of them pick you up and heave you into the water, which is now uncomfortably warm. Then it happens. Dark clouds rumble and low over the camp. When they are directly overhead, they release a torrential downpour, which douses the fire and cools your bath. Your bindings slide loose, and you're able to scramble from the pot. Libra has not ignored you. The headhunters, sensing something supernatural, have scattered into the woods, and you're free to escape. But you may not call on Libra again in this part of the adventure to help you. Not until you reach the city of Care. How did you pronounce it? Kare?
I said Kare.
Will she listen to you? You collect your belongings, run off into the woods, turn to 254. Shoot. That feels early to have to use that, but
it really does. We've taken a lot of negative outcomes so far.
I've noticed. You race off into the woods in case the commotion attracts any other creatures. For half an hour, you run before you stop to rest. When you realize you're now hopelessly lost, which direction will you take? Throw 1 die. If you roll a 1 or 2, continue uphill and reach 68. 3 or 4, you just head in the direction you were traveling. If you do a 5 or 5 or 6, you go downhill until you reach your well-trodden path.
I rolled an 8, so we'll be going to page 98.
You rolled an 8. Okay.
It's a 6.
98. You emerge from the woods onto a riverbank, and the path leads over a rough wooden bridge along the bank. Turn to 231. Further along the river is another bridge over which the path leads. You cross the bridge and start heading up to the hills. The path winds for some time, taking the gradient leisurely. Suddenly, an acorn lands on your head, and you hear tittering coming from the trees above. Looking up, you can see tiny figures high in the branches, flying from tree to tree. Then another. You're being pelted by elvins. You may protect yourself with a spell. There's Zip, Foff, Walk, Hop, Yeg. Okay. So Zip is it's a teleport, but we don't have
Zip
what we
is the
need
teleport. That's
it.
a ring of green metal. We don't have it.
Foff is force field.
Yep, costs 4 stamina. Very expensive.
Walk we can turn a coin into like a shield,
Exactly.
which seems good. Was hop a spell?
And Yag was also not.
Yag's not a spell. Okay, so we can either make a force field for 4 stamina or walk to turn a coin, which I'm assuming is going to be gold. I'm assuming we can use gold.
Yes, it just says a coin rather than any specific coin in it. It does say the coin will be destroyed afterwards.
Sure.
But walk seems like it'll cost us 1 stamina and 1 coin to get out of this.
Okay, I'm down for it. The other question is, like, these are acorns. Is it really like that big of a deal?
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm between walk or nothing.
I definitely lean walk, but that's just because we can do it.
Let's do it.
296.
290. Oh my god, I'm looking at the wrong page, and it says I went to 294, and it says there's no such spell. I'm pretty sure, but 296 is right. Deduct 1 stamina point. Do you have a gold piece with you? If not, the spell won't work. Turn to 85. If you have a gold piece, you place it on your wrist and cast your spell, and an invisible shield forms around it large enough for you to hide behind. You pass safely through the hail of acorns, but you lose 1 gold piece, and then turn to page 7. That seems worth it.
I imagine we would have lost more stamina in the alternative option.
Yeah, or
They
maybe
would've
like
just-
not even been able to progress forward. Like not because it hurt, but because like maybe we just couldn't get there because we were just too pelted. Running ahead quickly, you're eventually out of the range of the annoying little creatures. You follow the path for the rest of the afternoon until you reach a point where you can see it's running into a hill village. Proceed on to 28. You walk into the village. Young hill dwellers pass you and stare at your strange clothes. Their own attire is rough by comparison, and everyone wears their hair long, but piled up on their heads. You pass without incident into the center of the village. Will you look for an inn on 211 or find an alehouse to relax on 266?
I feel like we need stamina recovery more than anything else.
We have not
We're down
slept
to
yet.
13.
And I feel like that will be relevant. I feel like it'll ask, like, if you've slept yet, blah, blah, blah.
I think 211 makes a lot of sense.
I think 211.
I hope we have enough money for them, though.
Yeah. The village inn will charge you 3 gold pieces for a night's rest and 2 for nourishing food. If you wish to buy either, turn to 161. How much money do we have?
We have 4.
We have 4? How'd that happen? Oh, yeah.
Yep.
10 gold for a freaking...
10 gold for the jewel. My bad.
Well, I mean, I wanted it to. Shoot. Because we don't have any food.
We do not know.
And we have not slept. This is just,
I think we need to sleep.
This feels like a problem, but I think we need to sleep on 161.
I mean, no matter what we want to do, if we want to do either of the options, we have to come to 161 anyway.
True. The meal is just being served. If you wish to sit down and eat, pay 2 gold pieces to add 3 stamina points. If you wish to rest for the night, pay 3 gold and restore 5 stamina points. So I guess, yeah, 5 stamina points, and then we have to turn to 45 for taking that option instead of 62. So 45. Please don't steal our stuff. Did you eat at all yesterday? If you ate at the inn or took provisions, you suffer no penalty. Yeah, we did, right? Yeah, yesterday, yes. If we didn't eat, we would lose 3 stamina points. There are 2 ways from the village of Biritanti. Choose your path by turning to 125 or 226.
Wait, do we literally just pick between those 2 pages?
I guess so.
125 or 226?
I guess so.
125. It's closer to a square power of 2.
All right.
128 versus 256.
Yeah, that's me too. You leave Biritanti along a path which snakes out into the hills. All morning you follow it as it twists through the woods of gnarled trees until eventually you reach a clearing where another path joins from the east. A signpost at the junction indicates straight on to Dumpus and westwards to Aliana. Will you continue onwards or westwards? Dumpus.
We know someone was coming from Dumpus, right?
Yeah, we got the little riddle about the creature with the black eyes. Maybe that's relevant in Dumpus.
Maybe. We got more about it than we'd have about Aliana.
It's true. So, Dumpus?
Onwards and upwards, yeah.
Dumpus and Dumpus. You follow the path for the rest of the afternoon until you stand on a hilltop. The path runs down the hill into a small village set on a river, and you follow it down. Turn to 176. As you follow the path downwards, you pass a sign. You're entering the village of Dumpus. Will you find an inn and rest for the night on 134 or make contact with the villagers on 34? I don't think we need to sleep again. That seems redundant.
Not at all. And we also probably would be kicked out for not having money, so 34 so that we can talk to people seems a better idea.
You pass along the main path through the village and stop outside a hut where several hill dwellers are sitting and eating. They are deep in discussion about something. Will you introduce yourself on 86 or ignore them to continue on 106?
On second thought, let's not talk to the villagers. I mean, come on.
Yeah, so 86, I guess?
Absolutely.
They stop and look at you. They invite you over, but become agitated at the sight of your weapon. You may leave your weapon and join them on 185, or thank them for their offer of hospitality and press on to 106.
We absolutely sit down with them, of course, right?
Sure, yeah, 185. I mean, if we get a free meal out of it, that's incredible.
Not only the possibility of a free meal, but also, we are not even most potent with our weapon. Like, we are a mage.
You sit and talk with them. They seem to be amongst the senior members of the village society, and this has been a lucky encounter. Add 2 luck points. They offer you food, which you may eat for a gain of 1 stamina point. Okay. And as the conversation becomes lighter, you jokingly refer to the
Buffoons and Cristatanti.
A comment which does not go down well with one of the hosts who happens to be from that village. In anger, he rises and challenges you. As you are on his own Snatacat and a what? As you are on his own Snatacat and a large molar from a
it's the other page.
Oh, I see. Oh my god. Yeah. It's the formatting is okay. As you're on his own territory, this would not be a wise challenge to accept, so you back off. He chases you angrily through Dumpus, and you flee before him. On the edge of the village, he gives up the chase, and you may head onwards, but you realize with dismay that you've left your weapon behind. You must continue weaponless, and unless you have a reserve in your pack, you must deduct 4 skill points until you find another weapon. And turn to page 14.
Yikes.
Okay, that's not good.
That's not good, and we're turning to 14 immediately afterwards.
Yeah, which...
I'm getting,
Yeah, that's a grail
getting
quest.
chills.
Yeah. Also, we got the beeswax, and now we have nothing to put it on.
Yeah, that is true.
It feels like it might be a problem. Outside the village, you climb up into the woods. You find a suitable sheltered spot not far from another path. Will you camp for the night on 108 or continue through the night on 49?
I mean, suitable sheltered spot. If we're ever going to get a spot to camp for the night comfortably, it'd be now.
Yeah, maybe at 108. Let's do it. It says it's suitable.
Mm-hmm.
You find a suitable spot in the woods to make your camp. If you've not eaten yet today, you may do so. If you have provisions, you gain 2 stamina points. If you've already eaten, you only gain 1. You settle down and sleep, but there's a chance you might be discovered by the night creatures who disturb your rest. Remember this reference. Okay, 108. Turn to 123, see whether you encounter anything. You may add 2 points to the die roll. You will have to make as night creatures are less likely to approach this camp. Okay, so 123, let's just go there for a sec. Oh, it's the same thing. It's the same 1, 2, 3, 4 is bad, 5 plus is good. But now we get +2 to the roll.
I rolled 1. It says you may add +2. So 1 is a giant bat, but 2 more than this. What does that?
A werewolf.
A werewolf? I imagine the werewolf is
or a
more potent
wolfhound.
than the giant bat.
Yeah. So it's the same deal. We could just cast big again.
Yep. And immediately, oh, do we guarantee to fight? Because we double our skill, which is now 5.
Oh, no.
So we get a +10 and they get a +5.
Okay, well.
I think it's actually battle time if we big.
Yeah. All right, I think it's battle time.
All right. Oh, boy.
Should I roll for the monsters?
Yeah, if you can. Rolling for us, we're rolling at a +10. That's almost the worst possible roll of 3 for a total of 13.
I got a 7 + 5, which is 12.
Woo! We win that round of combat, dealing 2 damage to the spider. We need to win to the bat, rather.
So it's down from 5 stamina to 3.
I rolled it again. That's another 13.
I rolled a 5 + 5, 10. So one more swing, and then we will defeat the bats. And I have a feeling that we are gonna do it.
16.
10. Total.
Vale, giant bat.
All right. Return to the previous reference of 108. You may set off again next morning. If you have had a peaceful night's sleep, add 2 stamina. If you encountered any night creatures, you can only add 1 stamina. Follow the path onwards. Well, wait, did we cast big as well?
We cast big, so we also lost 2 stamina from that. So we were previously on 19. We got 1 stamina, but we also spent 2, so we're down to 18.
Okay. All right. To 36 we go. Did you eat it all yesterday? If not, lose 3 stamina points. You're now very hungry. We did, right? That'll count because we sat down with the strangers and we ate their meal. Which
exactly, we sold our
saved
sword
us
for a
3.
meal.
We sold our sword for a meal and a little bit of extra stamina. So, I mean, we are a wizard. We are a wizard, and hopefully we can just spell our way out of stuff for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
Turn to 147.
We need gold as well.
Yeah. The gentle upward slope becomes a steep climb, and you must rest several times during the morning. Finally, you reach the top and can overlook the hill to see the path that leads to a small settlement of crudely made huts. You follow the path down and into the village. As you arrive, the villagers notice you and make for their huts, almost as if they are in fear. They're a sort of sorry-looking bunch, short and squat, with tough, leathery skin, some of them missing limbs, and some are only able to drag themselves along with their hands. Will you try and talk with the villagers, or continue through the village on 220?
I mean, they're trying to get away from us?
Yeah.
They make for their huts almost as if in fear.
Yeah. So why would we...
Well, I mean, they appear to have been ravaged by probably, like, rampaging bandits consistently.
True. So maybe that's not a problem. Maybe we can? I don't know. What are you at? Do you have a lean?
I think we should try and talk to them.
All right.
See if we can help.
61.
We're a hero.
Yeah. You knock at the door of one of the huts, and there's no reply. You may enter anyways on 158, or try another hut on 271.
I don't think we should just break into
that
their
feels a
homes,
little
though.
too far. Let's go to 271, I think, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
You try knocking on another door, and this time a voice calls,
Who is it?
and you enter. Turn to 158.
That was not enter. That was who is it? We did... Oh, God.
Inside, the hut has no furniture. Small fire burns in the middle of the floor. Against the far wall stands a family of 3, cowering away from you. Will you hold out a hand in friendship, turning to 79, or cast a spell? Gak, Foff, Ran, Fam, or Doc?
Fam and Ran, I don't believe are spells, but Gak is. It's
Doc
a spell
is,
for
too.
making someone cower and flee from you. And you need to have a black mask to do it. And then Doc is the you can heal people with a potion, but you have to apply a potion while you're doing so.
Yeah, so I don't think we can really do anything with it. And I don't.
nothing
why
at
would
all.
we need a force field right now?
I think we break into their house and then offer our hand in friendship because it's the best option here.
Yeah, or you may leave the village on 220, which frankly is also maybe
That's
the
true.
best option here too. But 70, I think 79 holding out our hand in friendship and getting the punishment of it. The man shuffles nervously over and shakes your hand.
Are you magical, stranger?
He asks.
Are you not afraid of us? Or perhaps you're a healer who can cure us of the plague?
At his last word, you spring back, but it's too late. You've made contact with the plague carrier, and from now onwards, you lose 3 stamina points every day until you die or find someone who can cure you. Deduct your points first thing in the morning. You're horrified at the discovery. Back out of the hut. Leave the village. 220. Okay.
We should have been able to tell that was going
That
on
was
with too kindly.
Repercussions for our actions of just being nice. Oh no.
That's the last time I'm not. If someone cowers away from me next time, I'm gonna kill him.
I'm going to cast Hot. I'm going to Fireball. That's the answer to all of the problems in the game, is actually just Hot. Just throw Fireball after Fireball.
Legitimately, wizard's best spell.
Some way down the hill, you stop for a rest. You sit on a boulder to survey what lies ahead. The path leads downward into a vale. Cradled between the 3 hills is a village, and quite a large one at that. The sun is falling rapidly, and you decide to head downwards towards the settlement. An overhanging branch touches your face as you hear a lively chirping. Hovering by your shoulder is a small creature the size of your thumb. It's childlike, but very thin, with green skin, and flits around you on its transparent wings. Seems to be quite friendly, and alights on your shoulder. You may talk to it on 171, or try and get rid of it with a spell of 6, Wick, Hop, Gak, or Wall. I mean, so 6 is a spell that makes 6 of us.
Yep.
As an illusion. I don't remember if we needed something for it, but also...
No, we don't. And Wall is one of the expensive spells that just puts up a wall between us and the target.
Yes. And Gak is something, but we don't... Why?
Yeah. Gak is to make it run away in fear. We don't have the mask appropriate for it, though. If it seems friendly, why not talk to it? Give it the plague.
I mean, let's
we have plague to share for all.
Let's blindly trust again immediately after saying we shouldn't on 171. The creature is a mini-mite, and it calls itself Jan. It's very friendly and tells you that you're looking down on Biritanti, the largest village in the Shamutanti Hills. Biritanti is a friendly village where all the travelers spend at least one night. Consequently, prices are a little on the high side, and the mini-mite would like to come with you. Will you allow it to stay on your shoulder and follow down the path to Biritanti, or will you tell it you'd rather travel alone on 37?
I mean, if we're still going to Biritanti but traveling alone, it's still going to be expensive. Do we just bring him anyway?
I love Jan. I can't wait to be backstabbed by Jan. Let's go to 111 to have our heart broken. There seemed to be a good deal of merriment in the village. Well, we'll see after the plague spreads.
It's the festival of the young,
whispers Jan.
Once a year, the children are allowed the freedom of the village. It is a time of great fun and pranks.
A number of children sit in the street ahead drinking ale. A little bit too much, it seems, as they're laughing loudly. Ahead, a young boy holds an old woman over his knee, spanking her. A group of boys is fighting outside
I'm gonna prank you!
Yeah. A group of boys is fighting outside a hut with a sign that reads...
Landragor's Tavern.
A group of girls is standing at a signpost pointing to the...
Crystal Waterfall.
Tripping up their elders as they pass and giggling to each other. Would you like to avoid this festival and make for the inn on 92, visit the tavern 230, head to the Crystal Waterfall on 102, or just leave the town immediately on 21? I'm out. This is too much.
Let's leave.
Bye. No, we could.
Those guys are spanking someone. I feel like that goes far beyond pranks. That's like in the YouTube pranks era of 2012.
Yeah.
We can't afford anything here.
Yeah, so that's why I'm leaning towards maybe the Crystal Waterfall.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll heal us or something of the plague.
That sounds like a better plan than any I have in mind.
I don't know. It's ambitious, but we needed help. You travel along a path leading upwards a little way until you reach a large natural waterfall. The only path to it leads past a small hut where a ruffian is collecting money. Seems to be that there's a price to pay for visiting the waterfall, and it's 3 gold pieces. It's a beautiful sight with a large crystal stalactites hanging down from the rocks all the way down. We don't even have this money, do we?
We do not have 3 gold pieces. We only have 1.
Okay, so do we go for the inn? I mean, I guess we just leave town. We're poor. We don't have any money.
I mean, we could head to the inn and just see what we can't afford there.
I guess that's true. The inn is not cheap. A bed for the night is 5 gold pieces and a meal is 4. Jan was not kidding. All right. Well, yeah, we pretty much
don't want to sleep here?
We pretty much have no choice.
You gotta leave the village.
Yep, you gotta leave.
Place the bed down on 21.
Pretty much just kind of what we figured, but hey, now we know. You find a quiet place to rest outside the village away from the bustle of the Festival of Youth. You're able to get a good night's sleep. The Minimite curls up near you. You may eat provisions before you go to sleep to add 2 stamina points and add 3 for the rest. We don't have provisions, right?
We do not. We're back up to 21 stamina, though.
All right.
And then we're about to lose 3 in the morning.
Probably.
From the plague, and then probably another 3 from hunger.
67. Oh boy, it's like we knew. You rise early and leave soon after dawn with Jan still hovering around your head as you set off. Did you eat it all yesterday? If not, deduct 3 stamina points. Also, we do deduct 3 for the plague, so -6.
We can't revitalize ourselves because we had to use it to escape.
Uh-oh. There are 2 paths ahead, one uphill to the east and one downhill to the west. Which will you choose? So I'm gonna mark down 67 for a second, and I'm gonna scroll up to the map. Is there anything we can learn by actually just looking at the map?
It's a good question. So in general, our progress does want to go to the east, it looks like, because we are... Well, actually, hang on. No, we're heading to Kare first. So in general, I guess we're going north.
Mm-hmm.
We've gone through the Kantapani Gate.
There's the Jabaji River. Is this something we've seen yet?
No, and if we proceeded east, we would be able to get towards that and then follow that river all the way up to Kare.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah, let's head due east.
Okay. All right, which page was that? Let's see. East is 135. You travel along the path for some time, passing out of a shrubby woodland. A pleasant smell hits your nostrils. Off to the right is a field of beautiful black flowers. The path through the field leads on over the brow of the hill and into the valley below. Jan believes this is the quickest path to Torpani, the next village in your route. If you don't trust his judgment, you may use a spell. There's Sud, Huff, Madge, and Sus. Sus is definitely one.
Sus is one. It is
specifically,
it is suspect. It's you use it when you suspect a trap, and it will tell you the details of the trap if there is one.
Was Huff a spell too?
I don't think Huff is a spell.
I think it is. I think you need like a horn, and it's like Huff, Huff, Puff, blow the house down
it
or
is
something.
the Huff. No, you're 100% right. This is Huff the Gale Horn. You use a gale horn in order to blow a gust of wind in a direction.
Okay, so not relevant to us. We don't have it. It's basically, do we want to use Sus?
Mag is also one, and it's defend against it's a magical spell, magical shield.
Oh.
I trust Jan, and he would never betray us.
Sure.
So why would we have to go to the extent of using our stamina?
Okay.
Unless you feel like we should check it for
let's go
suspicion.
73.
Oh, great.
Sure. I trust Jan. The smell gets sweeter as you pass on through the fields of black lotus flowers. Okay. You feel lightheaded as you continue and start your skip and jump with merriment. Jan, still on your shoulder, is likewise full of glee. Your head swims before you can stop yourself. You're feeling dizzy and you fall to the ground. You fall into the flowers and onto something hard. A surge of horror passes through you as you realize that it is a skeleton. But the horror is short-lived as you lose consciousness. The sweet aroma of the black lotus is a deadly poison, and you have breathed your last. You'll rest forever in the fields of black death.
And what page do we turn to now?
So we go back to 135 for a second.
That's a death.
Okay. That's enough. Yep, you're right. That is a death. Let me just mark that down. That's 2 deaths. So
maybe we should suspect something here.
394. Deduct 2 stamina points. You cast your spell, but nothing happens. The mini-mite tells you not to waste your energy on spells while he's around. Will you continue or return and take the other path? Gee, I think we should return and take the other path on 51.
I think we have to, because the other one literally just takes us back to the death, so...
Yep. You travel downhill along the valley for an hour, but then the path turns uphill again. The hill you're climbing now is not too steep, and as noon approaches, you're again on a descending path. You may stop and eat provisions if you would. Okay, well, we don't have any. Further along the path in the afternoon, Jan, who has been chattering incessantly to you, warns you to stop. You're being watched. You're now in a wood, and you proceed cautiously. Suddenly, the bushes part, and a figure steps forward, dressed in black. This tall man bars your way. Will you prepare to do battle on 117, or try and talk with him on 103?
I mean, not everyone can betray us, right?
Let's find out. 103. The stranger ignores your words and grips a sharp scimitar. Turn to 117.
All right.
There's no point. It doesn't matter. You prepare to fight the tall assassin with a skill of 8 and stamina of 6. So pretty gnarly. Or we may cast a spell: mug, walk, zap, kill, or fix. Wait, fix is a spell too. Fix fixes them in place?
It does, but we would need a sapling.
That's what I was going to ask. Oh, we had saplings jump up at us at one point. I wonder if there was some way to actually get them. Well, so zap is just like it's a damage spell, right?
Yep.
Surely?
It's a lightning bolt.
Just kill them?
I don't know. It doesn't say what damage it does, so it'll just give us the result on the other side of the page, I imagine.
I mean, it's the only option we really have, right? Or wait, is walk the shield?
Walk is shield. Yeah, that would be using our last gold coin to make a shield.
I mean, I'm down to try zapping.
Yeah, me too, because I think if we make a shield, we still will need to fight him. We'll just lower his skill. And the thing is, our skill is currently only 5 because we are missing a sword, which makes it real hard to beat his skill 8. So yeah, let's zap on 305.
305. Oh, no. Deduct. Oh, okay. You know what? I guess we should have seen this coming, huh? Deduct 4 stamina points. You cast your spell and wait for the lightning bolt to shoot at the assassin, but nothing happens. The Minimite screams at you.
Don't waste your time on spells! Minimites are protected, though it is sometimes a curse with a protection aura! You can't cast spells when I'm about!
Return to 117 and fight the assassin. It would have been nice if the Minimite made it clear that, well, like, not just don't bother casting spells around me, like just saying why the first time would have been nice.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, it would have been absolutely lovely. But again, the Minimite was trying to kill us at that point.
We thought so. But I mean, like maybe.
Yeah, maybe it was naively leading us into a patch of death.
Yeah. Huh.
All right, assassin.
All right.
Skill of 8, stamina of 6. It's fight time.
All right. Here we go. I'm gonna roll and add 8.
Mm-hmm. I imagine you beat a 10.
I do beat it. But I beat it with a 12 though, so it's a bummer. That's one we could have beaten. You good sound?
15.
Okay. 16.
Damn.
Or wait,
we're down to 5 health.
I mean, I think we're dying.
Oh, absolutely. 7 plus 5, 12.
5 plus 8, 13.
Oh, this is a 15. We might be able to hit him once.
14. So, yep, that's 1.
Hell yeah.
Stamina's down to 4.
And this is a 10, we'll probably.
Yeah. That is a 14.
Final roll of our life. We are down on 1 stamina at this point.
We can use luck.
Double 6. Oh, we can use luck. That's right. Double 6 plus 5. That's 17.
Okay. 6 plus 8, 14.
All right.
Do we want to use a luck?
Both of us are 1 hit away from dead.
We could use a luck roll to double that damage.
Ooh.
To get a kill.
So how do we use the luck roll in that instance to double the damage?
Basically, we do a lucky roll, and if it's successful, we double the damage.
Right. And the lucky roll is a 5 or a 6 on a d6?
No, the lucky roll is rolling under our luck score.
Right. We rolled as far under our luck score as is possible. 2.
Right. So we're spending 1 luck point to win this fight that we otherwise surely would die.
Mm-hmm. We have 1 stamina on the other side of the fight, though.
If you fight and win, turn to 153. Looking through his pockets, you find 3 gold. Hey.
Oh, hell yes.
Set off ahead and continue on the path to 12.
We need to find some more assassins to kill.
Continuing along the path and around the side of the hill, you are becoming increasingly irritated by the Minimites chattering. Gee, I wonder why. You come across a small wooden hut where an old woman sits in front of a step. As you pass, she calls out to you, inviting you over. Will you see what she wants on 243 or ignore her and continue on 235? Frankly, we kind of just need to take all the risks we can, I think.
Yep.
In situations like this to just be like, I think we just need to, at this point, we do just need to blindly trust and hope. It's like, here, rest here. So 243, let's get punished again. The old woman invites you into her house and bids you to sit down. She's lonely on her own in the woods and appreciates the company of others. Offering you a drink, she shuffles off into the kitchen and returns with 2 large cups of tea and 1 tiny one. Jan's a little suspicious and tells you so. The old woman glares at him and expresses openly her disgust for Minimites. She has forgotten the pot and returns to the kitchen to fetch it. You may, if you wish, switch your cup of tea with hers on 48, or you can wait for her to return and drink what she's given you on 146.
Do we do the James Bond cup
Is
swap?
it a double bluff, though?
I just want to trust her. I don't know. Dude, I've got a good feeling about this one.
All right, let's do it. What could go wrong? What, are we going to die again or something? 146. The tea is refreshing, and you may add a stamina point. You may also add 1 luck point for making the right choice. It's just going to tell us that it's the right choice. Okay. Oh, wait. Oh, shoot. Did I go to the page for switching the cup?
No, 146.
Oh, okay. You notice that the woman is cursing, and her actions are becoming slower. She creeps slowly off into the kitchen, and you see her gulping down another drink, and she comes back and questions you about your journey. Huh. She's particularly interested in knowing whether you came across an old man. If you have with you a page from a spellbook, turn to 184. Otherwise, turn to 219. I mean, we do.
We do. We have page 102 from that spellbook, I believe.
And it doesn't say we can hide it or anything. If we have it, go to 184, and we do have it.
Mm-hmm.
You describe the old man you encountered, and her eyes light up. She asks whether you stole from him a page from a spellbook and is overjoyed as you pull the page from your pack. Giggling with glee, she snatches it from you. Turn to page 114.
4 days ago, I was visited by a traveler such as yourself.
She explains.
The rogue was leafing through my book when I caught him, and as I challenged him, he raced off, taking the page with him. He must have been a wizard of some power, considering the speed at which he vanished. I cast an aging spell at him, but it seemed to do no good.
She thanks you for bringing it back and offers to show you how useful it is. She'll rid you of the Minimite pest if you wish. If you want to get rid of Jan and regain your ability to use spells, add together the page number you have with the number on what must be the next page and turn to the reference number. If you have not recorded the page number or you wish to keep Jan, she allows you to leave and set off again along the path of 232.
Add together the page number you have, so 102.
Yeah,
with the
with
number
103,
on
so 205 seems to be the
the
implication.
number on what must be the next page.
What must be the next page of the book, which is 103, which means it's 205. I'm assuming, and it looks relevant.
Perfect.
Squealing loudly, the Minimite disappears from your shoulder, and you're relieved to find you will be able to make use of your magic once more. The old woman allows you to leave, and you continue along the path on 232. Ah.
I'm so sorry, Jan. And we're back. We've had admittedly, we should probably mention it's been about a week since the last recording.
Yeah, it's been a bit. It's been a hot moment. I'm excited to be back. I'm not excited that we left ourselves with what, 1 health? How much did we leave ourselves with?
Two. No,
two
no.
health.
We're comfortable and safe on 2 stamina.
2 stamina, and a plague.
Yes, we are plagued.
2 stamina and a plague and a dream. Oh, yeah.
We've even lost the ability to cure our own plague. So
yeah, it don't look.
This is gonna be an interesting one.
It don't look great. We're probably gonna have to die and go back, but hey, such is life. On to 232 with Minimite now strangled is how I'm visualizing it at the very least. It is now late afternoon. You pass over the brow of the next hill, and below you is a village. The path leads into this village, and you have little choice but to enter Torapani. Torapani is inhabited by the Svins, an aggressive-looking race of man-orcs. As you enter the village, an air of depression hanging over the place becomes quite apparent. The Svins take no notice of you as you sit down on a tree stump in the center of the village, surveying the miserable creatures. Will you head to the inn to spend a night on 267 or attempt to make contact with the villagers on 282?
Now, I will note, when we ruffled through the assassin's pockets, we did pick up 3 GPs, so we're all the way up on 4 GPs.
Okay.
We could theoretically make use of the inn.
Apparently, the expensive inn was 5 GP, right? Like, they said that inn was expensive. So, this inn should be less than 5. I also, the last time we interacted with depressing-looking villagers, we got the plague.
Yeah, but how many plagues can we get?
Good point.
What are they going to give us, the plague?
That's true. Do you have a strong lean? Do you want to go to the inn and try and get ourselves cured, or?
I think the inn is probably a better idea right now, just considering our health position.
Yeah, let's give it a little look-see. 267 it was?
I believe so, yeah.
The inn serves hot food for 3 GP, and you may eat here if you can afford it. If you have not eaten yet today, add 2 stamina points if you buy a meal, 1 if you have already eaten. A bed costs 5 GP. If you want to sleep there, turn to 8. Otherwise, if you would rather leave the village and sleep rough, turn to 35. Well, I would not rather leave the village and sleep rough. It doesn't say if you can't afford it. It says if you will sleep here, turn to 8.
Let's just curl up on the floor of the lobby and sleep here. Is that an option? Can we find that option?
Yeah, so I have a sneaking suspicion we're about to die.
I believe so as well. We have the plague that's going to occur in the morning. Did we eat yesterday, or did we sleep in the old lady's house? Because if we slept in her house, then that was the yesterday eating trigger.
What?
I don't think we should. Well, because I'm trying to figure out whether or not the experience we had in town where we lost our sword and got fed, whether that's still contiguously today.
I think so, right?
Okay, I also believe that to be the case. And it looks like it from the
I think we
the
need all the
tracking
help we
stamina
can
here.
get. So let's. I
Yeah.
have a sneaking suspicion it's not going to make a difference, and we will die regardless. So let's find out.
Let's do it. 35, sleeping rough.
You stop at the edge of the village and prepare to bed down for the night. You may eat provisions if you have any. Do we? No, right?
No.
If you do so, you may... Okay, whatever. You drift off soon, but are awakened rudely by 3 Svins who hold you to the ground, pinning your arms. They carry you to a small hut at the edge of the village. Turn to 71. You are thrown into the hut and the door is locked. You are their prisoner. You spend half an hour looking for a possible escape, but there does not appear to be one. If you wish, you may sit down and eat provisions. Well, okay. Then you may settle down to sleep for the rest of the night on 109, or keep awake and on your guard in case anything should happen on 140.
I mean, we're locked inside a cell. When are we going to get a better and safer opportunity to sleep?
That's kind of what my thought was. Like, I mean, I'm down to sleep in jail.
Yeah. I mean, we've already been punished earlier for deciding to try and take the cautious option. We can't imagine that the cautious option is always going to be better. I think it's time for a nap.
109. You may add 2 stamina for your rest, but if you did not eat at all yesterday, you must deduct 3 stamina points. I think we are electing to assume that we ate yesterday.
We did.
Okay, good. You wake,
So our stamina is now up to 4.
and then we deduct 3 because of the plague, right?
Exactly. So the plague, when we wake next morning, we are now down to 1 stamina again. Woo! 1
Yep.
stamina in a dream.
Turn to 222 to die instead.
Mm.
An hour after daybreak, you hear noises outside. The door opens and 5 Svins come in, followed by an old man with gray hair and colorful robes. He announces himself as Proseus, the Svin chief, who apologizes for having captured you. He nods to a menial who brings bread and milk. You may eat this and add 2 stamina.
Woo!
The
We're
chief...
literally 300% stronger.
I know, but 1 plague still takes us down.
Yeah.
The chief explains that you have a mission of the utmost importance ahead of you. His young daughter, his only heir, has been captured by marauders and is offered as a sacrifice to him. Sorry, I'm just picturing this being pitched to us while we are somebody who has 1 stamina left in their system.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Just
they're
scarfing
hunched-
down milk and bread.
hunched over, like mere, like just a blink away from dying. And then
You there.
You there.
You look fit and hale, and you're literally a corpse.
My daughter, the only heir, has been captured by marauders and is being offered as sacrifice to a powerful cave demon. You, the guy about to die. Several of my men have tried to rescue with no success.
Everyone else here in town has 0.5 stamina.
Several of his own men have tried to rescue the girl, but so far with no success.
We are a desperate people.
Explains the chief.
You must be our champion and rescue our heir. If you succeed, you may choose your own reward.
It's clear that in spite of the chief's apparent good nature, you have a little choice in the matter. You're taken out of the village and along a meandering path up another hill. On the top of the hill is a hole in the ground, and the Svins prepare a basket to lower you down into what must be a secret entrance to the demon's cave. Will you try the last attempt at escaping on 215, or are you thinking only of the rich treasures you may win on 100? I mean, it's not the only thing I'm thinking, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm thinking no thoughts. I'm like, I feel like I'm just sitting there with my eyes closed and head nodding down, but
It
don't know
does
if
feel like
escaping is
a,
better.
oh, so this is what kills me kind of moment.
yeah, my only concern is the heir is being offered as a sacrifice. We're being lowered down in a basket. Are we just the replacement sacrifice, or what?
I mean, even if that is the case, I don't think we can afford to, like, fight our way out of the situation
what are we
now.
gonna do? What are we gonna do without no sword and we're about to die? So I think we just go to 100. Maybe we can side with the demon. You are lowered down through the blackness until eventually you reach the ground below. If you still have Jan the Minimite with you, turn to 286. Otherwise, 197. I hope it's good that we don't have Jan.
Mm-hmm. Because it was just a hindrance the entire time. It'd suck if the one good situation is after he died.
So 197, you peer around in the blackness. The Sphinx throw you down a torch and a tinderbox to light your way. Lighting up the torch, you can see that you're in a large cavern. 2 passageways lead onwards. Will you go left or right? Well, there's a lot to go on there. So...
Well, the left path is on the left, you see, but the right path could be right.
There's only one right way.
Let's go right.
All right, page 3. Following the passage down for some distance, you reach a T-junction, where you may turn left or right. Okay. There's only one right way.
There's only one right way.
26. You turn down the passage and follow it cautiously for several minutes. You stop to listen, and in the distance you can hear a low rumbling. You wait to see what happens. The rumbling gets louder, and your hair stands on end as you see a large, rounded boulder rolling swiftly down the passage towards you. The rock is almost a perfect fit in the tunnel, and its speed is increasing as you dither. Will you use your magic to help you? Gum, bam, wall, fix, sit. Or will you try some other means of escape? Or you can call on Libra. I mean...
All right. I'll give you the skinny on this one. Gum requires a vial of sticky, a vial of glue. We do not have that, so we wouldn't be able to cast it. Bam? I don't think is a spell.
I don't think so.
I might be wrong about that.
Unless that's the rock
wall?
blast spell.
I think that's pop.
Yes.
And I think that's for pebbles only. Wall is putting up a wall of force between you and the target. Unfortunately, it costs 4 stamina, so we would die casting it. Fix would fix it in place, but it needs a sapling, which we don't have to cast. And sit would just be literally sitting down and just waiting to die, I think.
So I guess we're going to try
So
some other means of escape on 83.
Exactly, because we've already asked for Libra's help, so...
Yeah. Unfortunately for you, there is no other way to escape as you try and think of a plan, and the boulder is on you, flattening you on the floor. Yet again, a Svin champion has failed to rescue the chief's daughter. Okay.
Death 3! Boop, 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 boop.
Is it death? Yeah, it is death.
Hey, Rito. In order to prevent us from just circling the drain consistently, as in reviving with 1 health and just constantly dying to everything we encounter, I think the point that we should jump back to is the point at which our stamina started to all disappear very suddenly, and that is the encounter we had with the assassin.
Do you remember what page that was on?
I believe that was page 51. Or rather, page 51 was the initial encounter with him. This is after Jan has led us away from town, and we've ignored Jan's instructions about where to move.
Okay. So how much stamina did we have at that point? We're back.
So I believe the last time that we healed was directly before that.
Uh-huh.
And that was when our sword was taken away in that town in exchange for provisions.
Isn't that, like, maybe really where we should go back to?
To not lose our sword?
Yeah.
I mean, admittedly, that's probably a good idea, but...
we could go...
Yeah, you know what? Yes.
Let's go there, and let's... Because maybe the other option isn't any better.
Yeah, legitimately. Do you know what page that is, though?
I'm going to look in silence here for a moment and try and find out. Wait, was that a long time ago?
I don't recall.
Okay, so we are going back a long ways because things have gone so wrong that we really do just need to, like, rewind. And we are going all the way back to where we, like, had the table where we left our weapon.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
that's really where our cascade of failures started. Though we hadn't eaten yet that day.
Yes.
Leaving our weapon and immediately losing 4 skill then means the inevitable path of ending up fighting an assassin who has much higher skill than us means that most of the time we would just die immediately by spawning back at the assassin. It's like when you it's like when you have like a quick save point, but like it's in the middle of
falling
like the air 1,000 feet off the ground. Exactly. Like you can load back to it as many times as you like, but then it's just going to be splat, 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 splat.
Yeah, because...
So before the cascade of failures...
Our cascade of failures was lucky in the one instance of the assassin. We rolled pretty well in that fight, all things considered, considering how bad everything was. So if we just keep on redoing that until we have like a better outcome, that would feel worse than just teleporting back. Like just resuming back, resetting our stamina and everything to where it was at that time, and trying to see if a different route fares us better. So we're on page 86. We're back in the town where there's the people who were at the table who were agitated. And
we've
is asking
not
us...
yet given up our sword.
Yes,
we haven't gained additional luck. And we also haven't gone to the next town, which gives us the plague.
Yes. So we don't have the plague. We do have our weapon. We have 18 stamina and 1 gold. And we haven't eaten. And I assume we have no provisions. So
None.
So it's not like it's a great situation, but it has a higher potential upside. So we are not going to set down our weapon.
We still spent 10 gold for an ice cube.
Yes, 10 gold for an ice cube. I think we still have the... Do we have the mini-mite?
Yeah, the mini-mite's with us at the moment.
Yeah, which...
So we can't cast spells.
But now we remember, ahead of time, we remember. On to 106. Here we go on a journey anew. Further along the way, you come across a couple merchants' huts and you browse through the items for sale. If you wish and can afford it, you may buy any of the following items. Well, okay. A finely crafted sword, 6 GP. Woven skullcap, 4 GP. Provisions for 3 meals, 6 GP. If you have no money, you may ask them whether they know of any work that may be going on 229. Or if you don't want to deal with them at all, head to the inn on 134. I think maybe we should ask for a job.
I think we should ask. I can't imagine that's like literally if you have $0, you can ask them. Like we have 1 GP. That's no money compared to these items that they are offering.
I think it means if you don't have the money to buy these things. That's how I am interpreting it. Is if you don't have the money to buy these things, you can ask for work. That seems like a weird conditional thing otherwise to me. So I'd say 229 seems fair. One of the merchants has a friend who needs a cesspit in his backyard filling in and a fresh one digging. This will take you most of the night to do, but he will feed and pay you. If you wish to take up this offer, turn it to a 1. If not, you must look for the inn on 130. I mean, yeah.
Graciously.
Like, even if it's a plague pit, I'm going to be upset, but like, the job is indeed unpleasant. The villager feeds you, adding 2 stamina points, but you lose 3 stamina points for missing a night's sleep. You may, if you wish, use your magic to help you with this job. Big, dip, pep, fill, zap. Otherwise, turn to 263.
Big seems the most likely one, right? We just make ourselves very big, and then we move it. Can we cast it on ourselves?
That we could. I thought that was like...
I'm pretty certain
I thought that we were the only person we could cast it on.
Oh, yes. This is not making the enemy big.
Yeah, I don't know what...
Yeah, this is a self buff.
Are any of these other ones spells?
Well,
Zap is a spell, but...
Zap is a spell, that's the lightning bolt. Fill is not... but we need a bottle of yellow powder, I believe, in order to do it. It puts pep in your step. You move faster, you are speedy, you do things.
I will be honest, that feels like that's the one they're fishing for.
It does, but we don't have the yellow powder, but being big is definitely a good idea.
Okay, 298 it is. Better be worth the stamina. Deduct 2 stamina points. You cast your spell and wait for it to take effect. Almost immediately, you start to expand. Your whole body begins to grow until you're 3 times your normal size. This allows you to finish the job quite quickly, and you manage to get a half a night's sleep. Add 2 stamina points. Well, okay.
Okay, but hang on. The previous page says the villager feeds you, but you lose 3 stamina points for missing a night's sleep.
So
I don't think we
missed the night's sleep. We can't
miss those.
We can't miss the night's sleep if we got a night's sleep. You're right. You're right.
So
should
we're 3 ahead, actually.
Yeah, because otherwise that makes no sense.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't get a night's sleep, but you get a night's sleep. Yeah, I think you're 100% right. 263.
So we'll be on 20 stamina at the end of all of that, which is only 3 below our main limit.
All right. Things are looking up. You finish the job well and in good time, and the villager pays you 3 gold pieces. Oh, we also maybe if we didn't do the spell, we wouldn't have finished it in good time. You leave Dumpus.
Wait, so the Minimite must just not be with us at the moment.
Oh, you're right. I feel like that happened slightly after. So I guess the Minimite, I guess we don't have it. Because otherwise, it would have told us we couldn't cast the spell. You're right. 208. Leaving Dumpus in the early morning light on 208. You may leave the village along one of 2 paths. One winds up into the hills, 147 if you wish to take this one. The other is downhill into a wood. Turn to 127. We offered these before? I don't recall.
I don't either.
Winding up into the hills, down the hill route into a wood. So 208. I'm going to look at the map and see if that helps. It does not much, aside from the fact that the book is called The Shamutanti Hills. And those are hills, so maybe that's where the book happens. That's all I got. Oh, and the wood... Wait, and the wood seems to be the opposite direction of where we're trying to go, actually. Doesn't it? If it's Strawberry Wood, that is in the bottom left corner of the map. If that's what that is, I guess that's not what we're looking for. But I don't know if that's
good enough direction for me.
It's more than I could have just, choosing the direction cuz. So I guess 147 to the hills? Ah. I think we did do this.
147 isn't the hills.
Wait.
Is it?
208, 147, one winds up into the hills, 147.
Okay.
I think it is. I think it's just it leads us back to this. I think it joins up with where we would have been anyways. So
right, got it.
This is, I'll read this page again to assess where we are. The gentle upward slope becomes a steep climb, and you must rest several times during the morning. Finally, we reach the top and can look over the hill to see a path that leads into a small settlement of crudely made huts. You follow the path down to the village. As you ride, the villagers notice you and make for their huts, almost as if in fear. They're a sorry-looking bunch, short and squat, with tough leathery skin, several missing limbs. Some are only able to drag themselves along with their hands. Will you try and talk with the villagers and get the plague? Turn to 61. Or continue to walk through the village on 220. I think we go to 220 to try and avoid the plague and hope that that's... Some way down the hill, you stop for a rest. You sit on a boulder to survey what lies ahead. The path leads downwards into a vale cradled between the hills of a village, and quite a large one at that. The sun falling rapidly, you decide to head on downward towards the settlement, and an overhanging branch touches your face, and you hear a lively chirping. Hovering by your shoulder is a small creature the size of your thumb. It's childlike but very thin, with green skin, and it flits around you on transparent wings. Seems to be quite friendly, and the light's on your shoulder. You may talk to it on 171, or try and get rid of it with a spell. So this is the Minimite. This is where we met the Minimite.
Which we know blocks spells.
Indeed. Theoretically, it blocks spells in its presence, right? So feel as though we just I think we have to talk to it.
Yeah, I don't think we can cast any spells.
I don't think because it was just we can't cast spells in the vicinity of it. So I think that 171. I think we have to have the Minimite here. Or we'll see. It's a Minimite, calls itself Jan. Will you allow it to stay on your shoulder? Turn to 111, or tell it you would rather travel alone on 37. Do you want to try traveling without Jan?
I mean, that seems ideal.
It seems like it. So let's go to 37.
I'm sure you would.
Chuckles the little creature.
But I'm gonna come anyway.
You try and swat it away, but it's too much too quick for you. Faced with no alternative, you continue down the hill with Jan, who is hitched a ride on your shoulder. Turn to 111. Okay, so Jan is required.
Deeply unfortunate.
Which takes us back to 111, which is the the village with the festival of the young, who are drinking ale, etc., etc. So there is a couple options we can go to. Would you like to avoid the festival and make for the inn, visit the tavern, or head for the Crystal Waterfall on 102, or leave the town straight away on 21? So the waterfall cost money, and we didn't have money.
We only had one at the time, yes.
So I don't remember how much it cost.
I can tell you as a vision from the past, it cost 3.
Okay. What did I feel oh god, it was a week ago. What did I had a hope that it was going to be something. Oh, I had a hope it was going to clean the plague off.
Plague, yeah, which we don't have.
So what are our stats looking like right now?
We are 3 below our maximum stats for stamina, and we are at max for everything else.
Okay. I feel less compelled to go to the waterfall.
Definitely agreed. It seemed like last time it was going to be a restorative option.
Like, now that we have the money for it, we also I don't feel like I want it, because if I'm going based on games, like, the fairy fountain's going to heal you or something. I guess we just
100%.
leave town straight away on 21.
Well, we also haven't eaten today, right? Because we ate
Oh.
yesterday and then slept
you're
after
right.
completing the job.
You're right. So true.
So we could head for the inn or the tavern. Which of those? I would have assumed both of those
yeah.
would be the same.
Yeah.
I guess tavern's probably more likely for food.
And
Inn's
less-
more likely for rest.
Yeah, that's what I would say. So maybe we go to the tavern on 2:30?
Let's do it.
You enter the tavern and call to the proprietor. Glandragor himself comes out. He's a kindly type and is always happy to talk with strangers. He's also a businessman, and a mug of ale will cost you 2 gold pieces. Will you pay up, drink your ale, and talk to him? Turn to 191. Do you have something for him? On 182. Or if you can't afford a drink, turn to 92.
We don't have anything for him specifically, but we can afford a drink.
Is it what we want to spend our $2 on?
Yeah, exactly.
All
I think really what we're buying here is information.
right, let's do it. 191. You chat for some time. When you tell him that you're heading for Kare, he tells you you'll have to pass through Torapani, and that you will find it a different place, as the Svins that live there seem to be in a permanent state of depression these days. Through Torapani, you have a day's travel to Kare, and the going is easy down the hills. You can add 2 stamina points for the ale, and 1 luck point for the information. Oh. Jan the Minimite has been sipping your ale and is now quite drunk. You can try and creep off either to the inn on 92 or out of the village, but you cannot lose the little creature.
Dang.
Well, wait. So it sounds like you can try and creep off to the inn on 92 or out of the village, but you cannot lose the little creature. Seem to be separate.
Yeah, I don't think either of them allows us to lose the creature.
But 92 sounds like it could.
I'll happily go to 92. We're really just going to turn up at the inn and then they're going to ask us for money and we're going to go, whoops. We'll turn out our pockets and then flies will fly out.
Yeah. I mean, I guess let's just go and then leave.
Yeah.
I guess. So 92, the inn's not cheap. Bed is 5 GP. Meal is 4. If you eat, pay the price. Add 2 stamina points. If you want to sleep here. Okay. So we want to just leave on 21, right?
Yeah, we have to.
We have
don't
to.
have any option
So-
otherwise.
21, theoretically, we will still have Jan, but I guess, hey. You find a quiet place to rest outside the village, away from the bustle of the Festival of Youth. You're able to get a good night's sleep. The Minimite curls up next to you. You may eat provisions and go to sleep and add 2 stamina points. We cannot add 3 stamina points for the rest and turn to 67. You rise early and leave soon after dawn with Jan still hovering around your head as you set off. Did you eat it all yesterday? If not, you must deduct 3 stamina. We didn't, right?
We did not, so we'll be losing 3, going down to 20.
Yes. There are 2 paths ahead, one uphill to the east, one downhill to the west. I think we went east.
I think we did, but wasn't that the death flowers?
Sure. Let's
I
try.
mean, we can go east anyway.
to the death. We can go to the Death Flowers, anyways. So it was the Death Flowers, and then Jan told us to go through them, right?
Yeah, and that's where we end our life at the time.
Okay, so let's just go to 51. You travel downhill along the valley for an hour, but then the path turns uphill again. The hill you're climbing is not too steep, and noon approaches, you're again on a descending path. You may stop and eat provisions and add 2 stamina points, RIP. Further along the path in the afternoon, Jan, who has been chattering incessantly to you, warns you to stop. You're being watched, you're now in a wood, and you proceed cautiously. Suddenly, the bushes part and a figure steps forward. Dressed in black, this tall man bars your way. Will you prepare to do battle or try and talk with him? It's the assassin. We know that if we try and talk to him, it doesn't do anything. We just have to go to 117, right?
Yeah, he literally just grips his scimitar and then we go to the 117 instead.
Yeah, but we are going to be going into the assassin fight with our sword, with no plague, and with more stamina. So, I think that this backtrack, while it took some time here, we are in a good spot to move forward. Okay.
Legitimately. Especially another consideration as well being that we know that we don't cast a spell at the start of this fight because the Minimite will block it.
Yes, that is the other thing. It does say we can cast a spell. We know that if we try to, we will just lose 2 plus stamina or whatever. Okay. If you fight and win, turn to 153. This I didn't remember. You may elect to spare his life if he's reduced to 3 stamina if you have 6 stamina. So
we did not get down to that point last time.
Not something that we could do last time, but maybe could now.
This time, exactly.
All right. So
might be able to get information out of this guy. I mean, he gave us 3 gold pieces the other time. That was the only difference, right?
yeah, I wouldn't mind sparing his life to see how that goes instead.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Although this is definitely the book, like just considering like our track history so far, this is definitely the book that would be like, you spare his life, he pulls out a dagger from his boot, and you die.
yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know. Let's go into combat. Let's see if it's even going to be an option. So we roll 2 dice. I add 8. You add how much?
9.
Ooh, so much better than before. All right.
Yeah, 4. Woof. I already rolled my first one, so we have 19 on our skill attack.
Okay. Versus a 15. This is already feeling better.
Uh-huh.
All right. Stamina's down to 4.
Yep. If we hit him one more time, we can spare him, and also all of our stamina points.
Yeah.
All right, that's a bit sharp. That'll be a 14.
This is a 10. Snake eyes. So,
Hell yeah.
2 plus 8. So the assassin kind of beefs it, and this timeline is looking so much better. I think let's attempt to spare his life and see what happens, right?
Absolutely.
And we can always mark this down as a death and rewind point in the future, theoretically. But hopefully it doesn't come to that. 187. He begs for mercy when you step back from the battle. He's overwhelmingly grateful, picking himself up and nursing his wound. He tells you that he is flanker, an assassin and a thief. He always picks on wayfarers for combat practice and thought you'd be no match. He too is headed for Kare, and in return for your mercy, he promises he will remain your friend. This will be a valuable asset in the city port. When you reach Kare, you will meet Flanker again, and he promises he will aid you. Turn to reference 79 in the second sorcery adventure to find out how he will help. He will not accompany you to Kare and instead disappears into the woods. You have made a valuable contact here. Add 2 luck points and go to 212. Huh. That's sick as hell.
It is. So that's just a setup for power in the next area, I guess.
In the second okay, so he's going to help us in the second book, huh? All right, okay. That's some foresight.
See you then, buddy.
Turn to page 79 in the second sorcery book for like that's so cool. Okay. All right. I guess I don't know where to make a note of 79. Sure, I'll write that on my
I'm going to put him in my inventory.
Yeah, there you go. For 79 for the next book, we'll try and remember. Yeah. Cool. 212. Continuing along the path and round the side of the hill, you are now becoming increasingly irritated by the Mennonites chattering. You come across a small wooden hut where an old woman sits on the front step. As you pass out, she calls you, inviting you over. Will you see what she wants on 243 or ignore her on 235? So we know that she gets rid of the Minimite, right?
We know she gets rid of the Minimite. We know she wants the page that we have from our very early encounter, the page from a spellbook, which we have the ability to give to her. I don't have it written down here what page of the spellbook it was that we were given, though.
Shoot. Well, should we go to the 243 to talk to the lady? All right. The old woman invites you to the house. She's lonely in the woods, appreciates company, offers you a drink, shuffling into the kitchen. She has a disgust for Minimites. You can switch the cup of tea with hers. That's right. Or you may wait for her to return and drink the one she has given you on 146.
If I recall correctly, it was right to trust her.
Yes, I recall that as well. So, well, there was at least no penalty for it, so I think 146. The tea is refreshing. You may add 1 stamina point and a luck point for making the right choice. Okay, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that was it.
That seems pretty straightforward. Particularly interested in knowing if you have a page with you from a spellbook. If so, turn to 184. So 184, we go there. We have the book. It just asks if we have it. It doesn't even say anything about if we
okay.
If we want to give it to her. It just says if we have it, we go there. You describe the old man. Her eyes light up. She asks whether you stole a page from a spellbook. She snatches it from you. Turn to 114. Okay, back there. If you want to get rid of Jan to regain your ability to use spells, add together the page number with the number on what must be the next page. Wasn't it like
right, so that's 102 and it's 205.
205.
It's 102 and 103 added together.
Okay, so back to 205. Jan dies. Turn to 232. Okay, there we go. Phew. Back to Torapani, but with much better conditions. We're back in Torapani.
We don't have the plague. We've got 21 stamina.
So
and the flanker
nice.
likes us.
And we have the flanker for the next book, yeah. Okay, so it's inhabited by... So now that we have this knowledge, are we going to head to the inn or make contact with the villagers?
I mean, we still don't have money, unfortunately.
True.
So I guess make contact with the villagers, right?
I guess so, 282. Wait, did we go here before?
We did not.
You approach a group of Svins deep in conversation and take a seat with them. They are discussing a friend apparently killed in the night by an assassin's blade. Gradually, you work your way into the conversation, and you soon learn the reason for the depression which hangs over the village. The village chief's daughter's been captured by a band of marauders and offered as sacrifice to a powerful cave demon. Been there, done that. According to an ancient prophecy, a dreadful scourge will overrun the village if the chief's line ever ends, and his daughter's the only heir. You tell him that of your travels and the creatures you've met, they realize you're truly a heroic adventurer, and become very interested in you. Suddenly, one springs at you while the other runs off into the village. You're held and fast in a vice-like grip, but as you struggle, more Svins arrive, and they march you off to a hut at the edge of the village, turned to 71.
All right, so we're back in jail.
So now we are in jail.
Would we... I think it's probably right to just sleep the night here.
I think so,
It
too.
worked out well last time.
I think so, too. So 109. I guess the downside is we haven't eaten.
Yeah. Tea is not eating.
Yeah. So add 2 stamina points for your rest. If you didn't eat, deduct 3. So -1 is where we're at from sleeping here.
Mm-hmm.
That's fine. 222. Okay. All right. Hey, hey, hey. Now we're here, knowing everything we know now. We're back at the decision. Will you try to escape them, lowering us in a basket into the demon's cave, or are we only thinking of the rich treasures on 100?
I mean, we might be able to find our way out at the moment, but at the same time, like, do we want to?
I feel like, nah. I think we can go to
Let's
100.
go down. We're now more equipped to fight a cave demon.
Yeah, and also, like, we can cast a spell to stop the boulder if we wanted to go that route. It's asking if we have Jan. We do not, so we go to 197. And now it's asking if we want to go right or left. We could make a different choice here.
We could. In fact, maybe we should.
Let's do it. Let's go left.
You want to go left?
Yeah.
Yeah, left's the right way.
Only one left way.
There's only one way left.
The passage slopes downhill, and soon you reach a fort where you can either go right or left. 174 or 151. 151 sounds familiar. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
I've been drawing a map of this area. 151 shouldn't lead us to any of the areas we've encountered in this dungeon.
Do you have a preference between one of these?
Let's go 151.
All right. Oh. Some way down the corridor, you hear whimpering, and your torch lights up a frail shape. Hiding in the shadows is the young Sven girl. You take her up and comfort her, and she clings to you for safety. Now, all you have to do is escape. Turn to 195. Okay. All right, this whole angle is going so much better.
Yeah, no kidding.
Behind you, a roaring puts you on your guard. The walls of the corridor begin to shake and crumble as you force to venture further and avoid the collapse, sealing off your exit. Ahead of you now, an arrow shaft of light gives you cause for hope. Perhaps there's another exit. The roaring sound gets louder as you step from the corridor into a large cavern. Suddenly, you gasp as you back against the wall, shielding the child from the sight that you've seen. Standing before you on 4 legs is a huge manticore, a hybrid creature with a lion's body and scorpion's tail. Its face is that of an old man, and it sees you as it rears its back, flapping 2 great wings. Will you fight the creature or cast a spell? The spell options are... Yeah, read them for us here. What do you...
Pep, unfortunately, again, we don't have the... I don't think that's yellow powder. I think I'm thinking of something else. I think Pep might be fire water. I think you need a potion of fire water.
Okay.
Bag, I don't recall.
I don't think that's a spell.
Hop, I also don't recall being a spell. Foff is force field. And then Doz would be for making them slower and sleepier. They take half as many actions in combat, I believe.
Does it need any?
We don't need a cast for Doz.
We don't need it. We don't, as in like we don't need something special for it?
There's no casting reagent. We can just do it.
Really? That seems OP.
Yep. I mean, it's not always given to us as an option, unfortunately.
I mean, let's do that, right?
Yeah, 100%.
All
it's
right.
the only one of these that... Well, I mean, force field, technically, we could use
Let's do
to try and
325.
block it back. But yeah, exactly. Let's actually slay this demon.
All right. Deduct 2 stamina points. The creature makes a half turn and prepares to swing its stinging tail at you. But as you cast a spell, it pauses briefly and shakes its head as if something has hit it. Its movements become slow, and you may now seize your chance to either attack it with your weapon on 227 or cast an attacking spell On 364, if you choose to attack, it'll fight at half skill for the first 4 attack rounds. I wish I knew what the attack spell options were.
Do we want to go to 364 to find out?
I mean, surely it'd be what, like a fireball?
I mean, we have the stamina to afford to cast something like Fireball, definitely.
All right, let's do it. Let's go to 364. We've not cast a fireball. What do we got?
I don't want to fight a Manticore with a sword. We're a wizard.
As the Manticore turns to face you, you may cast an attacking spell. You want to read through the spells and what they might be and what they might do.
Oh, okay. We actually have some cool options here. Yob.
What's Yob?
If we should like, we can use our single Giant's Tooth in order to summon a giant to fight for us. There's also Kin.
Is that the one that makes is Kin the one? Is that the mirror one?
Oh, it is.
There's one where
Kin's
it
the
holds a
one.
mirror up to them or something. And
yes, you need a
need a
gold-backed
mirror, right?
mirror in order to cast it, and you summon a copy of them, and then they fight to the death.
Yeah.
Hot, that'll be a fireball.
That's a fireball.
Gob, summoning goblins. Kill, not a spell. I mean, it's got to be a giant, right?
I feel like a giant seems like a good answer. Good answer.
Absolutely,
Good
for a
answer. An
Manticore?
excellent answer.
Excellent answer.
388, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Deduct 1 stamina point. Do you have a giant's tooth with you? Yes, we do.
Yep.
If you do have a giant's tooth, you place it on the floor and cast your spell. A cloud of smoke appears around the tooth, and as it clears, the large giant stands in place, commanding the giant to attack the Manticore, and it turns towards the startled beast. Resolve this battle. Every time the Manticore hits the giant, you must roll a die. 5 or 6 indicates a hit with a sting on its tail, which is poisonous and does 6 stamina worth of damage. A roll of 1 through 4 indicates normal damage. If your giant wins, turn to 456. If the Manticore wins, you may either finish the job yourself or cast another spell.
Okay, wait. We
There's a
will
lot
definitely
here.
need to be casting spells here because the Manticore has skill 12 and stamina 18.
It
The giant has skill 8 and stamina 9.
It is worth noting that the Manticore has half skill for the first 4 rounds of combat as well because of our spell, our sleepy spell. So we've got that going for us for a bit for the giant at the very least, and then I think let's just go through that and we'll see. We'll simulate through the giant fight, and then we'll make a decision after that. I say.
Let's do it.
All right. So you're adding +6 for the first 4 rounds. I'm adding +8.
I'll be
wait.
adding +8, actually.
That's what I
You'll
meant.
be adding +6.
I meant the opposite. I forgot that I'm the bad guy. All right. Round 1, 11.
Also 11.
Do we know what that means?
I can't remember what happens at a push.
I don't think it said. I think it's just a redo.
You just clang off of one another.
I think it's just a redo. That is a...
Yep. Start the next attack round from 1.
Okay. That is a 13.
15. So first hit against the Manticore.
Down to 16. 14.
Also 14. That's a push.
God dang it. All right. Last round of lowered. 13.
15. So we do get an additional piece of damage on him before he now rears up at full speed. It's going to be pretty hard fighting uphill here. We're going to lose the giant pretty quickly, and I don't know if we're even going to hit the Manticore again. That roll might do it, though.
Yeah. So I'm adding... Oh my God. I'm adding 12 now.
Yeah.
All right. That is a 17.
We do manage to hit you again. I rolled an 11 plus 8 is 19.
Okay.
Manticore
Okay.
goes down to 12.
Okay. I feel like...
I'm rooting for the giant.
I'm already relatively pleased with what the giant has done for us. I don't think it's going to beat a 20 here.
I don't believe it can, actually. It could tie a 20, and it doesn't.
Okay, well, just tie a 20 then.
Okay, we'll just do that. Giant is down to 7 stamina.
Okay. A 16. This one is possible.
10.
Okay.
So no, turns out it wasn't.
Wait.
Snake eyes.
Wait. We forgot to roll the one die to see if there's a poisonous sting. Let me just do that real quick. It was not a poisonous sting on the first one, and it was a poisonous sting on the second one. So
Okay. So instead of doing 2 damage, it does 6.
So the giant, I think, is on what?
1
HP. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Next swing is a 16.
Ooh. A 1 and a 2 plus a 12? That's a 15. Against all odds, the giant gets
Hell
one more
yeah.
hit in. Okay.
Get him, giant. All right, he's going to die now.
Even with a...
Oh!
Even against the snake eyes? 14?
No. That's an 18 in response.
like I need to freaking screen share this. This is now certainly okay. It's possible. 18.
Okay,
It's
yeah.
possible, but I don't think it's gonna happen.
13 is not going to be an 18.
Okay.
The giant collapses before us, unfortunately.
Yeah.
The Manticore's left on only 8 HP.
Do you want to cast another spell and do like the Goblin Tooth one? Because doesn't that also only cost 1 stamina?
Yes, I think it only costs 1 stamina, and we can summon as many goblins as we have teeth. We have 4 of them. And admittedly, just rolling a bunch of die against the Manticore, I think is probably a good idea.
Yeah.
I think we could also just check out what spells they allow us to cast on 420, because I don't think that's the same casting page we came from.
You're right. All right, to 420. If you do not have enough stamina left to cast a spell, you may turn to 227, fight with your weapon. Otherwise, choose your spell. You're right. These are not the goblin ones, are they?
Zip is Ring of Green Magic, and you can teleport, if I recall correctly. Knit is nothing. Fifth is nothing as well. Wall is just put a wall between us and the target, and Sud is nothing.
So it's wall or nothing.
Yeah, I'm actually really kind of confused by that. There's literally only one of these is actually a spell.
Well,
They usually at least give you 2 spells. Well, okay, never mind. One of the 2 of them are spells. One of them just can't be cast.
by us, yeah. I mean, I'm sure you could have gotten.
Yeah.
I'm sure you could have gotten it by now. The ingredient, otherwise, yeah.
Mhm.
My question is, do you think that the wall? What do you think the wall does for us?
I don't know. Like, I think it's an option for avoiding the fight, if anything. But also, like,
I think that's true.
the Manticore could kill us.
It could.
It's not likely to. It rolls 3 above us, so we do still have to roll luckily to be able to hit it. We'd have to hit it a total of 4 more times. It could totally take away the rest of our HP. I think we have to use any spell here we can for any advantage we can.
Okay.
So it's got to be wall in my
All right. 447. Deduct 4 stamina points. The Manticore is in the opposite passage, preparing to pounce at you. You cast your spell as it leaps, and it roars loudly as it hits your invisible wall mid-flight. Using your control, you fence it in securely, allowing you to grab this Vin girl and run from the cave. Turn to 456. You leave the Manticore's chamber and follow the path to the source of the light. As you had hoped, a cave entrance allows you out onto the side of the hill. You and the Sven girl find your way back to Torpani. The Sven chief is overjoyed to have his daughter back, and the village erupts into celebration as their curse is now lifted. You're given the freedom of the village and decide to stay for the day to recuperate. You visit the Sven healing priest, who will treat your wounds, cure any diseases, lift any curses you may have, restore your skill, stamina, and luck points to their initial values, and the priest may rid you of the annoying mini-mite if he's still with you. You sleep heavily that night and rise the next morning to continue on your way. Before you go, the Sven chief meets you, hands you 2 gifts, a pouch containing 10 gold pieces and a large key.
I know you head for Kare,
Says the chief.
but the city is evil and you must be on your guard. 2 years ago, a traveler passed through here from Kare and gave me this key, saying he would never return. This is a key to the city gates, and with it, you will be able to enter the city unnoticed.
Once you get to Kare's south gate in the next adventure, you may turn to 12 if you wish to use this key. You thank him and leave Torapani. You have made friends here and may permanently increase your initial luck score by 1 point. The path is leading you on from the Shamutanti hills down across the rice fields towards a great walled city, the city port of Kare, and on to the next stage of your quest. The end.
We did it.
We did it. We were closer to victory than I had realized when things were grim.
Yeah, legitimately.
But we just, like, I think we were bricked, basically. We were soft-locked because of our actions. I think we had to go back and not really rewrite history, but just, like, do it again. Like, roguelike
Yeah,
style.
legitimately. Because we were so lucky in the first run through with our assassin fight, most of the time when we encounter that assassin fight without our blade, we will die to the assassin instead. So if we do manage to get out of that fight with a very small amount of stamina, we won't have enough stamina by the time we get here to definitely fight the Manticore, but also cast the spells that keep us safe from the Manticore. So it definitely seemed like it was necessary to go pretty much all that way back.
Yeah.
I will say I'm very, very enthused about the number of options we have that seem to be related to the next book as well.
Yeah, that's fun. I like it. I mean, it's definitely like the most strategic it feels like we've had to be. as far as the books go. Like, it's the most, like, I think we've had to be the most, of all the books we've done, you need to be the best player in this one so far. It, I think, is probably how I would say it. It's not that there's not, like, obviously luck elements and stuff like that, but, like, memorizing the spell book is such an interesting component, really clever.
Yep.
And, like, the thing is, it's one thing to know the spell book, it's also one thing to be like, okay, well, is that going to do anything right now? Like, that extra layer of options is really, really interesting, and I get why this book has, like, been held up as one that is important. Like, I get it. I really enjoyed it as, like, a thorough game book.
100%. Like, the fact that you are, like, immediately thrust into the world of sorcery by having to memorize a spell book so that you can actually feel what the sorcerers feel in the instance. Like, you are only as good as the amount of spells you remember, and if you misremember them, they'll fizzle in certain ways. I think that's really, really, really fun and interesting. We played series before, like Grail Quest was a series as well, and, like, you know, there were some persistent things across Grail Quest, but this seems much more like there will be direct story beats that are directed from it. Like, Kare's entry gate, we have a key for.
Yeah,
like, the complete opening of the second book is going to be decided by the way we ended this first one.
Yeah, and that's really fun. And the fact that we'll have an ally, like, and now I'm like really happy we went back now, knowing that, like, we basically unlocked content in the second book that we would not have seen, and we wouldn't have known we'd miss, basically, because of that, which is really interesting. Like, it says turn to 79 as a reference page, so I'm imagining, like, we just do that, like, right away as we go into the book, the next book, which is kind of cool.
And it'll probably give us some text that's related
like,
to the rest of that adventure.
I'm sure, it's gonna explain what it's supposed to mean that we have him. That's very, very cool.
We'll have to find that out in that book.
Yeah, yep. So, that's sorcery. There's 4 of them. They're meaty, but they also feel appropriately length. I don't know. It's just, like, it was very tight. I enjoyed it a lot. I really, really did. And excited to get to the next one with the continuation. Kare, the City Port of Traps is the name of that one. Anywho, it's been good to be back with the old turn the page. We didn't mention it right up front, probably just not to be, like, you know, bombarded with, like, wait, there's been a break. There's a huge number of wild things. There were trips, there were sicknesses, there were different sicknesses. It was just such an extreme, unfortunate cascade of things. There was holidays. It was like holidays into trip, into sickness, into different sickness, into, like, it was so much stuff that has led to, like, extreme delays in this coming back. I'm very happy that we are going to be back and we're going to be doing this. And I'll say the upside, one of the upsides of it taking so long is, like, maybe the Choose Cthulhu books will be out soon.
Yeah, legitimately.
Which is so funny. Like, that's one of the upsides of the huge delay and everything there. But alas, it's been turned to page. Huge thank you to anyone who's been, you know, supporting and continued to support on Patreon throughout the absence. Huge thank you. I don't know if you want to give a shout out to a Patreon member here.
That's the thing I do at the end of these episodes. I remember now.
Yeah.
Well, the executive producer of this episode of Turn to Page, of course, has been Astral Fox. Thank you very much to Astral Fox supporting us over on patreon.com/turntopagecast. It is cast there, right? Or is it just cast on YouTube?
Oh my gosh, it has been a while, hasn't it? Let's see.
Yeah, exactly.
Third page cast is what I'm assuming. Let me check. Yes. Patreon.com/turntopagecast is indeed correct.
Much appreciated, Astral Fox, as well as everyone who's supporting over there, but especially Astral Fox, the executive producer, again, as I mentioned, of this episode.
Yes. And additionally, if you want to support the podcast in a free way, you can always go over to the YouTube channel, youtube.com/@turntopagecast. You can like the videos, comment on the videos. That really helps with the algorithm over there. as well as subscribing, which is also very, very helpful. So we can get towards the 1,000 subscriber mark and be monetized on YouTube. It's just a very helpful thing for the longevity of, the podcast, as well as just recommending to friends if you think that they'll be interested in something like this. But anywho, it's been a good time, and we will see you all next time. Bye-bye.
Fare thee well, traveller.